Vodka.
Britt, Mr. Hitman, I've been smoking crack for weeks.
Yo, Tom, why'd you bring the Buster here?
Cause the Buster kept me out of handcuffs.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
Relax. Don't push it. You embarrass me.
Banks versus Davis. We're back. We're talking about off air, Banks. What were we talking about? You said you were going to read into some lyrics.
Okay. First two bars. I'm like a bird. I don't have wings. I don't know where my home is. Whatever the fuck she said after that. Let me go back to my theory about the Shang-Chi.
Isn't it, I don't know, or my soul is, so it is.
Okay, so she for sure a bird. Because
That's what
birds don't have souls.
Oh my.
In case
Or
y'all
they suck
listening,
the soul
understand
out of
this.
you.
Yeah, succubus. As you know, I cannot get away from the succubus. They don't take my energy, but they trying to drain us of our energy. Trying to take it way from a. So, you said she a bird. Listen, birds, they don't know where they home are. Most of the birds I've been around don't have homes. They usually go from home to home, roommate to roommate.
We are starting
have
on
wings?
such a toxic level. It is killing me. But it'll work given what we're talking about today. We're talking Donda, which that's toxic in its own way. But then obviously Drake flat out said Certified Lover Boy is toxic music. But again, if you don't know, that's Banks. I'm Davis. Banks versus Davis. 3 weeks away from 1 year of this show when it had a different name at that time. It didn't even have a name at that time. It then had a different name, but you know what it is. Post-Fast Summer. Today's docket, we got Donda, which Banks will probably go into more detail than I, and Certified Lover Boy, which if you're watching on YouTube, Banks versus Davis, you see I'm decked out in the CLB kit. And then at the end, we're talking some movie trailers that were released this week. And I'll be reviewing Shang-Chi, which is the MCU's latest release. And I have some thoughts. One I didn't hate it. It's really good. It's Aquafina. We getting you the fuck out of here. But Banks started us off with Donda. Because as we alluded to in the brief promo video we did, dropped last Sunday. CLB was already scheduled to drop Friday, which was yesterday. And it's already kind of got swept under the rug, but it's still a versus mindset between the two albums.
First song, Evil Chant is going on. Shouts out to Selena Johnson. Old school pressure. I'm not going to say the name 20 times. It's ironic that the album came out after that horrible Candyman movie came out, which is also Southside Chicago.
Which also had some good Twitter meme jokes. Like, if you say New York, or I mean, if you say New York 5 times, who appears or something like that, right? There was some good content on Twitter, but with Candyman.
Yeah, and Papoose comes up.
Like if you say family 5 times, Vin Diesel shows up with a cut off sleeve.
Was that actual joke, or you just made that up? Because if so, you need
I think
to
I
tweet
just
that out.
I think I just made that up, and someone probably had said it.
Nah, I didn't see that. So go ahead, tweet that from the account.
I'm not gonna blow up like our guy Manny, who fucking pay the man for that tweet. Shit.
I saw that and it only had a few likes, and I was like, well, that's just Manny being hilarious. But then they start blowing up, and I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah, I think last time I saw it was 130 something K. But shouts to him. Last night podcast.
Damn.
Yeah. I also think he has a Patreon as well, but support our guy. He's dope.
Yeah, sign up so they can get an AC, even though it's about to get cold.
Yeah, again, trust any listeners we have in the eastern side of the U.S. and the southern side that were hit by what's been going on. You know, some Roland Emmerich type shit, which we'll be talking about later.
Yeah, Rock was out there barbecuing even during the hurricane.
Well, Hurricane, funny enough, is the name of a song on Donda.
Exactly. Yeah, that works.
I think
that's
the last song I listened to.
I
think that's the last song I listened to before I was just like the Jose Mourinho meme, like with the headphones, like, nope. Because there was the one guy who just kept saying like, hide, like I think we're like we outside. I'm just like, who is this? And two, like, can't you think of anything else to say? I was just fed up. I couldn't finish it. Banks, you've been saying that Jesus has saved you the last 2 days. We've been talking, but I think you're doing that ironically.
So Hurricane song is actually like, I think that shit's like 4 years old if I'm not mistaken.
I can't remember.
It's old. It was supposed to be on that Yandi album, but it was just like Kanye on the hook. So it was a reference. Mm-hmm.
Remember he had TurboGrafx 16, Swish, which then became nothing. No, that became Life of Pablo, right? It was Swish, then Life of Pablo. Then he says Yandi, that's after Ye. And then he might have had one or two more of like projects that were announced, but then nothing happened with.
Yeah, I got a bookmark, but I forgot the names of them. He was supposed to have a good ass job too. That was supposed to come out after graduation.
You know, I think that I mean, just in terms of his entire discography of like projects that weren't fully realized in development, essentially.
And then I remember he said a couple years ago he was going to bring it out, but then Chance was supposed to be on it, or Chance probably made that up. So thank God that didn't happen.
Is that when he yelled at him like, your album flopped, so you need to sit down and shut the fuck up?
Yeah, I was like, dude, Christians really do cuss, even though I know that. My granny was a super Christian. She used to cuss like a motherfucker. So I'm like, oh,
you mean the
Christ
one that
put that in your heart?
The boom, 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 boom in the hallway.
Yeah, I'm like, I think I told her straight up one time. I was like, oh, did Jesus put that in your heart? And I got slapped.
But yeah, so I haven't checked it out. I mean, I haven't fully finished it because, again, I'm not like, it's weird to say like out on Kanye given what he's been saying over like the past 5 years. But it's just like, once I was hearing, I'm like, I just want to keep listening. As I said, I think in the promo video that like this man should just go into like the score industry, like just make music for movies, because he has, you know, that production side more than the lyric side. And that's the one thing that was killing me, as we were talking about off air. The lyrics to Jail, which has such great instrumental, it's just like, no, I don't want to hear. I don't want you to tell me that you're Moses and like Jay-Z. No, like, oh God.
Did you at least listen to Remote Control?
Which is, if that's like the third, I think I got up to like the first 6 or 7 songs and I was out.
Oh, okay, yeah, you missed out then, because that's like song 20.
I did check out Come to Life because everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, I did check out Come to Life because everyone was saying that shit was amazing. I think I might have stopped after Jonah or okay. There was, again, Off the Grid is the meme of him going around like, ooh, it's Halloween, right? On the stage,
that shit
that
had
great
me
video.
Scares when that first happened.
God. Yeah, that was the best video. That'll be one of the best videos of the year. Will Kanye be in our discussion for MVP of the year?
He has to be. He finessed the bag, bro. He made like $15 million. Like each show.
Because as of right now, it still sits Shohei Ohtani, Anthony Mackie. Even though he's had a quiet second half, he still had an amazing first half. Kwame Brown just had with basically Lynn's sanity. He had a good 2 weeks and then he was out.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder again had a quiet second half. But we still got 3 months left. But Again, that'll be one of our year-end shows is who won 20. Well, not who won. That's something else. But who was the MVP of the year? But Kanye West, I think, has taken kind of the mantle for the second half.
Hey, I hate putting myself over, but y'all motherfuckers at least need to put me on second, third team selection. I need a second and third team selection.
Well, you're the one. Everyone knows that.
I don't think I'm
Dr.
the MVP,
Doom.
but second, third selection.
You're the Dr. Doom of podcasting. The Banks the Conqueror over here. What?
He said the MF Doom podcast.
No, I said the Dr. Doom, not MF Doom. So the Dr. Doom.
Right. I'm about to say that's too much because
I don't know too much about MF Doom I don't know much about MF Doom just to throw that label at you. I mean, we all know you're a Krillin.
Okay, say that 20 times, and then Cal is gonna appear.
Again, shouts to Cal, Zell, Eve, guys who represent Black Wrestling, Body More Bottles, Black Announce Table for joining us last week on our Fast Summer post show. Check that out. Again, the links to what they do is in that episode as well, or at least the name. So look that up, support friends and family. Well, again, I don't have friends, I got families. As Dom Toretto said, maybe, again, Vin Diesel might have to be in the running too. John Cena definitely as well will be in the running.
Yeah, shit. If you want to keep it a buck, John Cena might be my MVP this year.
Yeah, I mean, he's my MVP every year. It's him or Drake, either one.
You might want to put John Cena over Drake, bro. Drake didn't make Vacation Friends.
We'll get to that a little bit later. Again, in our kind of movie trailers, because you saw that this week. I saw it last week. But do you have anything kind of else to say about Donda? Do you actually like it as an album, or do you like the concept of it?
I think it's a phenomenal album. I think he did exactly what he wanted to do, and he's not chasing anything. Whereas you could definitely see he was trying to chase Drake. Life of Pablo, I don't like it. Yeezus, I don't like it. I understand what Yeezus did as an album because the show looked spectacular. The Life of Pablo show looked insane as well. But this is my favorite album by him since My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, because Watch the Throne is a collab album. I think this album is phenomenal though.
I mean, that's something we'll have a Kanye West episode one day. You and I have talked about it. You particularly being a fan of the first half of College Dropout, Late Registration, Graduation, 808 and Heartbreak. I do like 808 and Heartbreaks too, but I just kind of prefer the trifecta of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Watch the Throne, I count that, and Yeezus. Life of Pablo is when like the wheels start to fall off, but I think there's some good stuff in that. But then Ye is just like, you see like he's gone mad.
Yeah, he was competing. He was trying to compete with Scorpion. That's why. He was trying to drop before Scorpion. So that was just like, all right, let me see if I get the edge up on him. And then obviously Scorpion came out, and a lot of people, we'll get to it with the CLB. A lot of people are different about Scorpion. I actually like it. I think it's okay.
Well, not to spoil that, but again, Drake announces June 2018 Scorpion. Kanye West says, I'm doing 4 albums a week every Friday to start out June. So Drake's like, all right, basically like the last Friday of June, Thursday, Friday of June, I'm dropping Scorpion after this guy has his time off. And then he gives the interview with LeBron and Matt Carter on the shop about, I went to Wyoming where this guy is. 40 had already gotten there, and he's like, this guy is working on an album. He might have sent you here to collab, and because again, Drake's like, he told me he wants to be Quincy Jones. He wants to produce for me. He's in this bag now. He's not worrying about himself. So Drake was feeling like he was being sabotaged by someone someone that he's looked up to. He said that before. That's kind of the interesting thing about the last 3 years, the real feud that's what happened with Scorpion, Ye, everything in between to now. The Pusha T stuff, the Kid Cudi stuff, which it all has history before, years and years back with subs, and it dates to Lil Wayne versus Pusha T before Drake versus Pusha T, right?
Yeah, because the whole bait and ape thing and Pusha T having a problem with Birdman, but not too many people are fond of Birdman anyway. So,
what happened to that boy? You don't know for that sage.
Sage still definitely doesn't know about that. Now, if it was I'm like a bird, I don't have wings.
Oh my God.
But she's a yellow bird.
But yeah, with Don, as you said, it's 20-something songs, 2 hours essentially. And it's part twos of songs that are on the first half. And it's like, did you have the one, like, couldn't you didn't decide between which version you wanted, and you didn't want to make like a 8-minute song like Justin Timberlake did with the first 2020 experience, right? Where like every song was 5+ minutes, and everyone's like, wrap this shit up, man. Like, what are you doing?
I hate, that's crazy. I've been hearing that name or that Justin Timberlake album all week. I've been manifesting that shit. I hate that.
If you say Justin Timberlake 5 times, who appears? The rest of the members of
Janet Jackson's Titty.
Oh shit. That's good. That's a good one. You gotta tweet that.
So I'm gonna say it. No. Yeah, probably so, because I know after air, I'm probably gonna say that a couple times. Janet Jackson, look like Freddie Jackson.
Yeah, that's kind of a little hint of next or the week after's episode. And don't come around here again. I'll call you. Just him being like, ever again.
Right. Come back in. All right, so with the Donda album, I'm not Elliot Wilson. No disrespect to Elliot Wilson. I'm not that type of person to be like, yeah, and even though I listen to it sonically and I'm more of the technical guy with how I relate sound-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a nerd in that sense. Lyricist,
I'm
always gonna listen
Stu
to
Hart's type of like, it's all in the technique, the proper. And that's not wrestling. That's funny bullshit in the ring. This right here, real like that, like, yeah. But no, I mean, you said because you are a producer. You produce this show and many other shows, so you love the technical aspect of putting something together more than I think the showiness of it all.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, he damn near had Mike Dean almost had a heart attack, an aneurysm so many times. Yo, that's the person I feel bad for during the making of these albums, because he like, yo, you adding more shit. You adding more. You want this to be synced a certain way. You want a guitar riff. You want 20 more artists to come through. It's like, dog, you overworking me. That's probably how Mike Dean feels like.
Yeah.
When you see Mike Dean, he always has a blunt for a reason. Like, dog, if he didn't have weed, he probably would have definitely had an aneurysm by now.
Yeah, and that's probably the thing with, I think, Kanye post My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is everything. I mean, a song has to have everything in it. It has to overdo, and sometimes it's executed perfectly, or sometimes it ruins it. And is that probably your problem with Yeezus and Life of Pablo? Is it trying to do too much instead of staying within one?
No,
or you think the material is just not good?
Yeah, with me, it's just my ears. All right. So this is a guy. Let me tell y'all how my ears work, how my brain works with music. It depends on how I feel when I listen to something, or if it's something I really like, I'll go back and listen to it. But depending on the mood I'm in, this is a guy that'll work out to gospel, but can work out to one of my favorite bands called Elder. If y'all don't know who Elder is, they're an Irish band. They cold as hell. Every song is like 13 minutes, but it's worth the experience. But then after that, I'll play Family Ties by Baby Keem and K-Dot. And no disrespect to Baby Keem because I like him, but I'm going to play K-Dot's verse all the time. So my mind and how I compute music is weird. So with Yeezus should work for somebody like me. The problem is, at that point in 2013, I didn't understand the direction he wanted to go in, and I still don't. Maybe I'll catch it later. I know it was more so I'm going against the machine that is the fashion industry, because that's why he made New Slaves and Black Skinhead and all that. But then when you go to Life of Pablo, it's just in 2016 it worked for me because it was a different time in my life.
Yeah,
that's all.
We'll get to that later.
It came out
about Scorpion too. It's
Yeah.
funny that you say that about Scorpion, but like 2018 was such a great year in my life. That's why I got, this tattoo of it in Roman numerals. But like, so whenever I think of Scorpion, I think of where I was in that time of like, I was with someone at that time for all year. And like, I was so looking forward to that album. And just other stuff was going good. I was, had my own apartment. It was just, everything clicked that year. So whenever I think of Scorpion or when people say it, I'm like, whether they're shitting on it or being like, oh, yeah, it's okay. I'm like, when that came out, I almost just loved it instantly. And when I still listen back to it, I remember how I felt when listening to it on those car rides to and from. And something like Jada didn't hit till after because I can't enjoy something that down when you're happy. It's like you can't really listen to some stuff when you're in a certain state of mind. I told you last week, I think it was the talk about Kendrick coming back. We were just talking off air, and I was like, I have no problem with Kendrick Lamar, but it's like, I do like some of the songs from Good Kid, Mad City. I never checked out Damn. That's because after To Pimp a Butterfly, I'm like, this just isn't for me. And I didn't mean that as like a racing. I'm just like musically, I'm like, I'm not into what he's doing here. And just made me never check out kind of anything after that. And that's kind of what you're saying with Yeezus or Life of Pablo is that like, in hindsight, maybe you're like, my ears don't want this right now. It did at that time. But now it's like, it's either probably aged horribly or just to you, it doesn't hit the same.
Yeah, so that's funny. He said it's not a race thing, with To Pimp a
Well,
Butterfly.
I think people would say. No, I think people would say that.
I understand, my brother. Yeah, it's more than that to the album. I think.
Oh no, I know. I'm just saying. When I was hearing it, I was just like, "This is all over the place. I don't know how to comprehend." It sounded like jazz, and then something different.
But see, that's the person. Or that album is what I'm talking about. Maybe that's why that album is perfection to me and one of my favorite albums ever. It's definitely my top 5. And it's weird because it instantly became that. And usually it takes me a while for certain albums to be like, all right, I placed this somewhere in whatever far as my favorite albums ever. Instantly, when I first heard that album, it instantly clicked for me. But for some reason, for some people, it doesn't. So I can understand what you mean as well. Because I got everything I needed from that album to understand who he is. I think with artists, you got to have that album that defines who you are exactly and where you place yourself in history. But then you got aliens like Prince, Michael Jackson, Kanye, and the Stevie Wonders and shit like that, where you got multiple albums to tell you exactly who you are and your place in history. Because with Jay-Z, it's the Blueprint, it's the Black Album, it's a few albums like that where it's like, okay, we understand who he is and he solidified his place. With Kanye, going back to him, because we were talking about the Donda album, no artist, probably Prince, Stevie Wonder, where it's just like, it's never the same sound. And then you know where this person is in their life, but at the same time, you could tell it's a transitional period. But I think more so, I want to say with Kanye, because those two genres that, even though Prince does every genre when he's making an album, it's blues, it's R&B, it's rock at the same time. Mm-hmm. And then with Stevie Wonder, it's just pure R&B. It's pure soul. But with Kanye, I think the reason why I said now Kanye after this album, and this album didn't solidify him, I think albums ago, him as a person solidified him as one of the top 10 greatest musicians ever. I'm not just talking about rap. This dude went beyond the rap after Yeezus, because every album is different. Every rollout is different. Hell, the outfits. It's like he's working the gimmick as the album comes out.
And that's probably one of the aspects I like the most is like you can link every album to what he looked like at that time, what he was wearing, the mask. Again, the mask for Yeezus was the red mask, and then he had the designer Margiela mask on during the tour and all that. And then Life of Pablo, he comes back with the dad hats, which then turned into the red hat. And then with Ye, it's just like okay, you just got to stop. All this is terrible. Just throw all this away.
Them lime green sweaters.
I do like
That's
lime green
just so.
sweaters. I'm just saying, but like when it just like it's poorly aired, but yeah, again, people will just eat that shit up. And that's the thing we talked about last year with My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy when it turned 10 last year. Was I like that both as a rap album and just a pure music album because it's able to do everything, like every song. Like there's a 3-stretch period where it's Runaway, Devil in a New Dress, and Hell of a Life. And I think it's like one of the 3 best, and it's one of the best 3-song stretch in like music history. Like to have that back to back to back, you went for the 3-peat with that. People would probably say I think Monster or So Appalled before Runaway is included in that, but to each their own. That's just how stacked that album is.
Exactly. So, I mean, the first thing I said, closing out, because I can get real technical for hours and talk about music as a whole and then talk about his discography. The thing I could say about him is after this album, if he wants to, as an artist, he always want to put out music. He doesn't. I feel like he did need to put out an album years ago. Hell, after Yay, he didn't need to put out an album. Not because it was bad, but he didn't need to put out an album. Then when
he was going to run for president.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes for him,
then he was going to turn into the villain. Then he was going to turn into the villain from Hobbs and Shaw, the Etienne voice. That's what his next venture was.
Shit, that's what he kind of on now. He just walking around like Batman at this point.
Yeah,
like just
again, his new thing is Gotham City.
Yeah, not that Redacted Kelly song. You remember that song?
I only know from the Kevin Smith commentary. That? No, I know it's on Batman Forever, right? Or is it Batman and Robin?
Batman and Robin, because Batman Forever had that.
Had the Seal song.
My favorite song of all time. Yeah.
The Ric Flair song. I just remember from the Kevin Smith commentary, he'd be like, "Oh, I had that one R. Kelly song," and Kevin Smith goes, "Gotham City, City of Love,
the City of Peace, every one of us, because we all need it."
But that's the thing. He such a complicated figure. Obviously, what he said is probably like the stupidest shit anyone could ever say. The slavery is a choice, supporting Trump and all that, which. I'm not going to say at the end of the day he was doing a bit or like a gimmick. I think he probably did believe that because, again, just the way his mind works. Again, this is a guy who said, my mind moves like a Tron bike, which is still one of my favorite lines ever when he says that. But, yeah, so I can see why people don't fuck with him now. Again, like he lost goodwill with a lot of people who were, fans of his for years and years from the start till the end. But with this, it's just like, and I do agree, probably, because again, I don't know gospel music. When people are saying this isn't gospel music, I'm like, oh, I believe it because it's just him saying Jesus' name. So he's trying to make it seem like it's gospel music. But
it's no. That's what I keep trying to tell people. I don't really have, even though I basically just did a review, I don't have too much of a review, and I'm not one of those people that need to get a review off. Like, when we get to the next album, it's just me, for the most part, just working people. And for the most part, where my ears are. But it's just at this point with him, he's doing what he wants, obviously, and he's a billionaire. I mean, he's out his label deal, too. That's why he was like, yo, Universal put my album out without my consent. Bro, you out your label deal. You should be happy about that. The fact that you was really, when he was going on attention last year, he was like, I'm on a deal with Def Jam, a 10-album deal. I'm like, God damn. But that's expected for somebody that has sold that amount of albums throughout the history. So his catalog is insane to go buy his catalog. But, closing out with this album, man, like I tell people, just appreciate him. After this is it. We ain't ever getting another one of these. Like the Prince, Michael Jackson, that's done. Kanye, we'll never see this again from any artist ever. From an entertainer that could just make people talk. Like, this is it after this.
Yeah. It probably no person was, besides the guy that we're going to be talking about next, really benefited from being in this era of the internet era whereas like everything you do makes movement, whether it's intentional, unintentional, or you're being made fun of or you're being praised. These two guys are legit, like they move the needle in like the wrestling sense. Like when they do something, everyone stops, has to react instantly. So like you're saying, like the career retrospective of Kanye West, whether it happens in like a decade from now, when it's like, let's look back at 2020 Kanye or 2010s Kanye or all that, or if he, when, you know, because we'll all eventually pass away, but when he passes away, if it happens soon or prematurely or in old age, what will people have to say then? Like, will it still be hate filled, or was it be like, you know, at the time we didn't understand this guy, or maybe it'll be something people will have their own reactions with CLB and Drake next. This will be interesting because again, if you're watching, you see what I wear. Everyone I think just knows I have the OVO owl tattoo. I really don't listen to music as much. I just listen to Drake. And I didn't say anything on Twitter what I thought about any song or my reaction to it yet. I haven't said it because it's like I make people pay me for my time. When he said that, that's me. This, you want to hear my reaction? Everyone knows that I'm a Drake fan. You got to subscribe and listen to this episode to hear my take on it. If that's any platform, Apple, Spotify, or YouTube. But my instant reaction, again, instant, because it's only been a little over, 30 hours? 30 hours.
Yeah, that's it.
Is I think it's really good, and it barely hits really good. It's not great to me yet. Maybe it will be. As of right now, I don't see that yet. I think this will probably be the bottom tier of his projects, because that's the thing. It goes from album to mixtape to playlist to an EP or Lucy's or however you want to group his work. And that's the thing he did. He's changed like what it means to put out music, especially in the internet era. You don't make money from, well, I mean, the sales aren't in physical copy buying it. It's in the streaming. And he was probably really the one guy to like capitalize on that more than anyone else. People will also see like Ed Sheeran, Justin Bieber, Beyonce, Adele break those numbers as well. But it was him with like Hotline Bling early on in the video. Just like there's something there that people are going to go towards with that. And that's why every song with like the mumble rap movement, I think Hassan Minaj on his show said the formula of like a 2 to 2.5 minute song is what will be popular because it's so easy to digest in this era with short attention spans, which is something we all benefit. I mean, I'm not benefit, I'm suffer from. And it's just the way that things are. It's our mind can shift focus. But my instant reaction to this is it's just really good. But I have a take, and I want to hear what you think about this. I wonder if this was a different project initially, but then in the last 6 months turned into, I think, a parody of a Kanye album. I haven't heard anyone say this yet. That's just how I'm reading it. Where like a lot of samples where I'm like, I don't think you really needed that. A lot of features, or is like, I don't think you needed that too. But Andreas Hale said it shows a lot about Drake that you can work with people in this age where everyone has to like be independent or think they can do it themselves. And the whole point where I'm like, fuck J. Cole is he's like, man, I did 2 albums with no features. It's like, who gives a fuck? Maybe no one wanted to do features with you. Because they'll be like, oh shit, it's my turn. But what do you think of that, my theory?
No, I totally agree with that. Like it's, you know, how once again my mindset works is I pay attention to every single little detail and I store shit so I remember it for later. Maybe go back and think about it. That trailer came out and we talked about that in October, and he said January was initial. Yeah, and then the album's supposed to come out at the top of the year. I was in love in 2021. I ain't in love no more. So that tell you at the top of 2021 in January.
Well, not just that.
So,
like the trailer makes it think like, because again, it was an homage to the Jay-Z commercial where he replicates all his album covers. And I was like, oh, is this like him realizing like, I'm going to pay homage to every single piece of work I've done in some way. I'm going to try to have the sound from here, sound from there. But like everyone's saying, it's the same sound every album, mixtape, whatever. Which either people love or piss people off. But it's like the whole thing going on. I was like, who wants to hear Drake rap about what's going on in the world? Like, what's he going to say about the floods in New York and all that? People don't want to hear that. They want to hear, who broke your heart, Drake? Who hurt you? Who is you, Chiron? That's what they want to hear. You're muted right now.
My fault. That's the best way of putting it, because I could definitely tell this album was supposed to be more lyrical miracle and probably more melodic just by that song in the trailer.
Did you create that?
Lyrical miracle? No, people been saying that for a while now.
Okay, I've never,
because they were talking about how like, I don't want to listen to no goddamn Joyner Lucas and lyrical miracle type shit like that. You feel me? Like people have been saying that for a while now, but I think people gotta understand. First of all, this dude is
you corny.
Yeah, no, we not in the air, because this is what I'll say about it. I don't have too much insight about the album, because 2 of the songs I like, I've actually had for months now. Like all those songs that leaked, 2 of those songs that made it. The one with Jay-Z, and then this one more, probably not around. No, it is not around.
Yeah,
I had that song months ago.
We'll get to that too, because he took like the leaked songs, I think like cut them in half and put them in these other songs. And to me, like it doesn't fit with like what he added to it. Like you could have just had the full version. And that's where I'm like, that's something Kanye West would do. It's like people hear lift yourself and like the lift yourself. And it's like, oh shit. And then it's like scoop diddy poop poop too. And it's just like, what the fuck did you just self-sabotage yourself? What are you doing? Like,
I think
again, Drake said that lift yourself was supposed to be for him in the shop interview. He's like, he gave me this, and then like I see it him release it on Twitter, him talking gibberish nonsense. Like,
no, absolutely. I think my other take is because the album's supposed to come out in January, but then you like, yo, I'm gonna push it back for a couple things. Then I tear ACL, which is weird because it's like, bro, using your vocal cords, you don't need your leg.
We got a game today. We got a game.
Right. He definitely was watching the movie. Like, yo, no. This is rapping. I rap. Don't touch my body. That's what it was. And also,
but the fucking white women. But the white women, goddamn, that's already the name of the episode. We settled on that last week. Now, okay, good. And he's like, at the end, he's like, "How you doing, boy?" He just looks at the guy like in a straight face, like, oh, "Come on."
Only I could be the certified lover that could say boy on this podcast.
Or not Dwayne Johnson as Luke Hobbs.
He could say boy as well, because he probably says it often. I'm just saying. Under Armour. Now, going back to the album though. Yes, I think they missed the targeted release date, being Universal. I felt like Universal said, "Hey, everything kind of opening up. Can you put this out in August?" Yeah. So let me rush to summertime anthems, because most of these songs are summertime anthems. Like initially when he said the album was going to come out in the summertime, I was like, all right, July. He said the end of summer. Yeah. He really meant the end of summer. Yeah. Like, yo, he really meant that shit.
So, it was the John Cena, again, Summer of Cena. Motherfucker, it's August. Like,
right. Like, no. You might want to say fallish. And then the thing is now it's no songs I can really play other than 7 a.m. on whatever road. That's my only song. That's the only song I actually like off the album. Yeah, that's the only song I like on the album. Like,
okay, no,
go ahead, because I'll. So the thing is, all right, this is how Banks works. All right, tell y'all, I'm gonna work y'all because I know what y'all gonna say. I know how to get heat. I know how to get, without getting cheap heat like most of the morons on Twitter, I know how to draw heat without trying to get cheap heat. So with me, what I say on Twitter is, this ain't really for me, or I agree that certified weed play. Yeah. Nah, I'm about to start saying that too. But the thing is, with him,
Don't
this
you dare say
album-
certified. Don't you give Matt Damon that much credit. Don't you dare. I love that man.
well, he's an innovator.
I love that man like a father. Again, he is the Piccolo to my Gohan. But don't you give that man that satisfaction by saying certified weed plate. Don't you dare.
No, it'll be a certified Henny plate for me. It'd be a coaster if it was a CD. It's just, you got to understand. Okay, there's two. So let me say this with the old heads on there, myself, all the people that's around 30 and so, even though they way older than me. You know what I mean? Math 48. So let me explain to you how it works with our ears and the era we from. I'm the last of that era where we had that boom bap rippity rap shit, all right? So it's embedded in me. And then how my lifestyle is, once again, what did I say? This might be the title, actually. I can't listen to it because it's hairline music. Or just put the title as that's hairline music. It's not for me because it's hairline music.
Nah,
what do I
because
mean by that?
Because he's got a great hairline and he's shitting on the album. So come on, don't do that. And Diz has got a great. Shouts to Where's Buffy. They were live earlier today. Check that out, YouTube. Again, we're podcasts are, and they were briefly talking about it, but I didn't want to hear them break it down, even though I respect them all that. I just wasn't trying to have anyone else's opinions on the album. I was just trying to digest it.
But
myself.
it just came out too.
Well, I mean, but broccoli.
It just came out too. So everybody can have like
no, that's how they
perception on it.
that was going on. But Broccoli Balboa did say, like, I think he said it as of right now, it's trash to me. And he's saying it just like, as of right now, I don't like it as much. I think is what he said. But I didn't hear what, I think Stiz said he liked it. And Fam, he liked some of the songs right away, like the Rick Ross, Lil Wayne, You Only Live Twice song.
And I didn't like that. And it's hard for me to not like a Bink produced song with Wayne and Ross. And you know, Wayne is in my top 5 all time. And I was like, nah, even I didn't like his verse. So I'm like, well, shit. I'm going to go back and listen to it. But it just,
I've said this.
It's very uninspired. That's what I can say about the album. I can, and I'm going to let you go ahead. My fault. It just,
no, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just, that's what I'm saying.
What I'm saying.
Maybe I got to listen again. It just don't hit for me because of the season we about to go into, the season where I'm at right now. I can't talk about the girl is not around, the boy is not around, the father, whoever the fuck he talking about, the Holy Ghost. I can't relate to that. That's what I'm saying. I can't. Too sexy for these hoes. Too sexy.
That
for
is. See, that's the crazy.
Shit.
The crazy thing to me is these motherfuckers sampled Right Side Fred, and like turned it into like an anthem for guys, for our guy Josh on Twitter, for guys like that who like. We're like, yeah, like I'm a fine motherfucker. Come get this shit. Like that's what this song is. And I'm like,
well, yeah, no, he always tries to tell white women he's sexy. Like, all right, bro, we get it. Colombian women, we get it. They see
it's got your.
They like to talk.
It's got your man Jeffrey. It's got everyone's man Future. And again, Drake's just like, yeah, like that's got Kawhi Leonard in the video just because, like, fuck it, I can.
I'm about to say, apparently I'm in a fucking video.
No, all right. Let me say this. Let me clear this up because I like to give Banks a lot of shit. He may look like Ricochet. He just has Kawhi Leonard energy. And again, they're from the place. God, from the place on Banks's hat. They're from LA. That's the only thing they have in common. Just their demeanor.
No, he's from Riverside. Stop. He's from Riverside.
Riverside, motherfucker.
Yeah, he's from the same place.
Oh shit, it's Wayne Brady.
No disrespect. Yeah, he from Riverside too. That's shit.
That's what I'm saying. Remember, he goes Riverside, motherfucker.
Yeah, Riverside is nice.
And Donnell Rawlings hangs from like the fucking gate. Like,
I thought I was the only one that noticed that.
No, every time. No, that shit's amazing. God.
I thought I was the only one that noticed that. Oh shit!
No,
and he hanging out getting shot up.
Shit, yeah, and he just like dangling like. Nah, come on.
I thought I was the only one that ever noticed that. He was ragged
on. This is why you have to know I'm your guy for life because again, like I notice shit or I'd be like, "Hey, did you ever think about this?" And you'd be like, "How the fuck do you know that?" Like, yeah, wait till we talk about '90s movies. Maybe shit. Teresa Randall will probably be in 2 of them. And goddamn.
You ever seen Booty Call?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I'm about to say. What about Tripping?
No.
What's that movie with Tommy Davidson and Halle Berry? I'll look it up and come back.
But Uninspired, I think, is somewhat accurate because, like I say, I think it was one thing based off how it was promoted. Again, when you hear "Laugh Now, Cry Later" last August, it doesn't sound like anything that's on this album, really. And
you know what? That song was appropriate. He could have dropped the album then because that song was appropriate for the time, like a motherfucker.
Yeah. No, legit. And again, that's supposed to like promote CLB. It's like where this drops, and then at the end, it's like CLB. And it's like it's confirmed after he had the Certified Lover Man bar earlier in the year on Dark Lane demo tape. And it's just like I really just
songs. Not
and that's what I was about to say.
Those 3-pack of songs I thought was gonna fit the mood for CLB because I was like, okay, if he about to do this where he rapping, that's what I'm saying. I'm confused. You was rapping on those 3 songs, even though Baby bodied you.
And that's that was also my thing is like, no. Well, you are. I just thought there was that dope animation video where like the guy has like what Drake thinks like in the thought bubble is like little baby keeps going. I think it's the guy who also animates to like
the little cartoon.
The ones in a day, and it's like Drake, is he talking about me? He's like when he's watching Baby in the studio. Shout out to people who do dope creative animation. I'm always jealous of that. But yeah, like he dropped Scary Hours too, I think because CLB got postponed. And that's where I legit thought about this theory yesterday as I kept listening. I'm like, I don't think this is what he wanted. I think this is a response more than anything. And it reminds me of because I'm not gonna say this album let me down because there was some stuff I like a lot. And when I was re-listening to it earlier, I think it was sitting with me a lot more because I was listening to it at my job and I was thrown off by like the background noise, me just trying to keep up with work, all that. But I was able to like to hear what each song sounds. So when I re-listened to it, I'm like, oh, I do like this one, or I'm on this one. But yeah, it just doesn't fit to what he was already putting out to make you think like this is what it was going to be. I really just think in the last 8 months he was creating a project that like this guy over there would make, and it's a response to him with a shit ton of features, a lot of samples, shit that might have leaked. I'm just gonna chop and take a snippet out and put it in here. And I don't know if it's really just like a piss take, as like the Brits say, like a parody, a satire, especially how the promotion went this whole week of like him promoting it with like on his Instagram with like the cards from his mom, which made me think like, oh, this is going to be a really deep, like thoughtful album. Like each day, like he had a note that his mom wrote to him about that one. I'm like, oh, this is going to be something where like, I think where you were alluding to, where I think what everyone kind of really thought just based off the name was like, it's him probably doing 80% R&B, a little bit of rap, just based off the name, the hair, the heart and the hair, all of it. But it comes out as just like what I would say is a Kanye West type album with, again, the Kid Cudi feature, the Jay-Z feature, the Travis Scott, which the Travis Scott one almost kind of ruins Fair Trade.
Stop. Let me stop you right there. Kid Cudi. Stop fucking making music, bro. All that, I'm on the pursuit of happiness. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit no more. All right. Travis Scott is COINTELPRO. Why the fuck is he on everybody's shit? Y'all get down with that? Y'all get down? That's y'all whole thing? He don't even be rhyming.
Travis, no. That's kind of...
I got the Spanish kids going crazy for McDonald's.
You get Travis Scott. Travis
Mm.
Scott is like for box office. It's putting so-and-so in your movie because it will sell overseas. Travis Scott gets you anyone from 14 to 22.
Travis Scott is this dude decades Triple H.
People think he's better than he actually is.
Yeah, he's way overbooked. He had 2 mixtapes that was good. Al Farrow and Days Before Rodeo. That's the only 2 things that I can go back and listen to. Oh no, I'm tripping. Astro World is straight. I still like Astro World sonically.
Okay.
I like it. Again, I know Mike Dean was like, shit, can I work with him some more? I'm less stressed. So that sounds good sonically, but he don't be talking about a motherfucking thing. And I wouldn't wonder if my shorty was, which one is that one?
Kylie.
Not the Khloe Kardashian. Yeah, she only 22. He's 27. Anyhow, she's somewhere.
Hey, don't you do that. Don't do that to me. No, don't you do that.
But Tyga had it first, and she was, never mind. So
Yeah. Don't really do that. I mean, the first one you were throwing shots at me a little bit. The second one I was like, no.
Y'all the same age if you talk to her. I don't know. She might need, well, it's too late now. They all had this affection with the darkness. Wasn't born in it. But still.
So it starts off with champagne poetry, which Drake openers are always interesting. There's Tuscan Leather, which I think everyone is kind of everyone's favorite. But there's also Legend, which is slept on. But yeah, champagne poetry, Poppy's Home, which has the part where he's singing, which I remember us saying on a Views from the Six Pod episode of Winston. Shouts to King Murphy Media. Go check out what he's doing over there for your music video needs. But on Views, there are like 3 songs where he's doing a different type of singing and the way it's produced. I'm like, I want more of that, where it's just the where I can get high when I want. It's like give me some of that. And he has that kind of in that section before he's like, Daddy's home. And I'm just kind of like, okay, now I'm a little bit like, is this for me? Like, and that whole song is weird. It's like, but then we got Girls
took that
on
picture
Girls.
looking like Ariana Grande.
Which one? The one of him like with the hoodie? With the you ain't ever taken pics like that?
That's your whole thing. That's y'all go. Antonio.
Yeah, shouts to my OVO crew. You know, Owl
Don't
Boys.
shout out Antonio. He'll look.
That's true, they fucking suck. But Girls Want Girls, which probably has the most toxic line of all time, which is she says I'm a lesbian, I say me too, which is like, see, that's
turn that the fuck up. I didn't even get that far into the song to know that, because I was a skip. That's all I was for the most part with this album.
So,
but yeah, I saw
the tweets. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Josh talk about that. I was about to say.
Shouts to Josh, Reggae Boy Radio. I mean, he sadly, I don't think he's featured on this album. I don't see a Party Next Door credit, at least as a feature. But you know, he'll be there next time. But
no, he ghost wrote for Drake.
I know that. I'm just saying, like, we actually hear
when he does the actual Canadian accent. That's the ghost written lyrics from Josh.
Yeah, but when you say uninspired, I kind of agree.
You're not a lesbian?
Agreed with that. I mean, people say I'm with this fucking haircut. They say I look like Rhea Ripley, but I don't got that back. Stop leaving, fucking bitch.
Look at his back.
But and that's like, sorry. So let me read what it says real quick here in the Apple Music description. Oh no, this is what it says for Donda.
Please, I said that to you, and I said that to one more person. I said, "Bro,
the Donda thing is almost a full scripture in itself. Like, look at this. This is Donda's like description. Let me turn the brightness down. Isn't that what do they call?
Fuck? I didn't even look at it. Hold on.
Do you want me to read it?
Nah, because we'll be here. As much as I love potting with you, we'll be here another 2 hours. Yeah. This actually might be our shortest. No, this ain't our shortest episode ever. I forgot what episode we did. What episode? I gotta go back. Nah, go ahead. Get your shit off. This your segment, but I forgot.
What... Here it is. A combination of toxic masculinity and acceptance of truth, which is inevitably heartbreaking. I wrote this shit last week. Executive produced by me, Noah 40 Shabib, Oliver El Khatib, and Noel Kadastray. Dedicated to Nadia Newley, who I'm like, who is that? And Mercedes Moore, who is that as well? R.I.P. And then heart with like some twinkles to it. Drake.
Yo, it sounds like it's hard work to make friends because either you leave him or something bad happens to you, bro. Something always going on with his friends, bro. He said, "No new friends." You goddamn right, bro. You don't need no friends.
That was about the weekend specifically because OVOXO didn't end up happening. So he was like, "Fuck that guy."
Hey, bro, I don't want to hear that weekend album when they come out. I ain't gonna hold you.
Oh, come on, you gotta take my breath. But he's not singing the Top Gun. Take my breath away. Watch the episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia where they have a dance contest, and Charlie Day dances to "Take My Breath Away" by Berlin. It's amazing.
I like Always Sunny, so I'm definitely gonna check that out. Minus some of the shit he be doing.
Who?
I forgot her name, but I remember she was in blackface.
Oh, with the actress on the show?
Yeah, not in real life, but on the show.
Oh yeah, no, their show is always like, I don't think you should have done that. Like,
and they get away with it. They on a 15th season.
Yeah. Yeah. This, basically the symbiote landed on his Spider-Man suit this album, and it just turned him all the way into like, yeah, everyone makes fun of me for being the sad Canadian boy who cries over women. He's gonna be like, fuck these hoes. Or like a certain individual would say during a certain match, beat that bitch ass. It's just like, I mean, he did say it on the Georgia Smith interlude in More Life, where he's like, I'm tired of all these women, I'm tired of all these hoes. It's really just, I think he got in the bag of like, everyone's mad at me for crying over them. I'm just like, no, fuck them. Fuck them. Like he would say, look around.
Georgia Smith.
But again, that's my whole thing. Where like, if you think that at the like, you look at Georgia Smith and tell me like to move on from that shit.
Georgia Smith. I'm on your
what? On your
trying to smell that.
Then we got In the Bible, which again has Lil Durk, and Giveon. Even all right. So Girls on Girls has Lil Baby.
This is a very bad combination, and that's very depressing combination too.
That's just what I say. So Girls on Girls has Lil Baby, which like, all right, we already had Wants and Needs earlier in the year, which is better. You should just put that on instead. Even though I do like Girls on Girls because again, it's just full on like, I'm fucking toxic over here. And then In the Bible, again, you already had Laugh Now, Cry Later with Lil Durk. Great. Then you had Chicago Freestyle with Giveon. Phenomenal. I mean, I'm not even sure, and I say, again, I'm not even in the Windy City to be like,
I don't know what part of Long Beach he's from, but he's from a depressing part. And Long Beach kind of is depressing.
Vince Staples is from where he's from the
North Long Beach.
Like the
so basically
the negative version. Yeah.
Giveon is from the one by the beach, which I don't understand why he's depressed. It's like, bro, just go down Long Beach Boulevard and first, where the aquarium is. Go look at the motherfucking sun.
That's probably what he's doing.
Like, upset. That's supposed to make you happy, but then he probably look at Long Beach Boulevard with all the fiends like, goddamn.
Yeah, goddamn. Yeah. So that song really doesn't work to me, and it's In the Bible, which I'm more like, all right, is that really just a shot at Kanye? Because I mean, I know you're the sixth god and all that, but you ain't just throwing Bibles and shit in there. Then you got Love All, which is good with Jay-Z. This man's like he's fucking Van Helsing.
Jesus will save you, my brother.
All right, then Fair Trade, like I said, really good until we get Travis Tenant. Last time there was no Tenant. Then again, Way Too Sexy, which is, I'd say, the male version of Nice for What. nice for what was female empowerment. Like, yeah. And then the nice, way too sexy. He's like, look at like the men are the prize anthem essentially. That X and a bunch of other guys be tweeting. Shouts to X, Van Rid, Black Variant. Then we got TSU, which has the that has the.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah,
and your receipt is coming, but guess what? You look like Jonathan Grisham from ROH. Your receipt's coming. I'm on your ass.
I thought you were almost gonna say Jonathan Coachman. I was like, damn.
The coach. Nah, I ain't gonna do him dirty like that. Coach been ball longer than me.
TSU, which again, great. I think that has the intoxicated one, right? Well, no, that has not around. Intoxicated, I think, is in Pipe Down. And then In Too Deep, which again, completely in a good way, completely different song at first, and then we get like the pop that shit, and I was like, I'm turning into Venom, like what, like you can't rip the symbiote off, like you're just fully in the toxicness of it all. Pipe Down, great. Like I said, and that has the other leak song. Yibba's Heartbreak. I don't like no Friends in the Industry just because the background beat makes it sound like the noise when the AirPods are dying, like the and I'm just like, does anyone else hear this? Because I'm like, even without listening to AirPods, I could still hear it. I'm just like, is it just me or is like this? And I get kind of what he's saying. And as the man who coined the phrase, the podcast game is a new rap game. And given that we've kind of seen what happened in the last week, not to allude to other stuff on other shows, but like, yeah, you can't have.
You
friends.
said the last week. Shit, since the beginning of this year.
No, it's true, but I'm just like, I mean, you know what I'm talking about specifically. But you just can't. Not everyone can just collaborate or pay recognition or respect. Again, it's everyone's out for themselves until they don't want to be.
Drake said, "I'm a lesbian as well. Would you pay $200? I'm not asking you this, Davis.
Oh God!
This how the brunch motherfucker on Twitter. $200 date for a lesbian or $200 date with a man? You stupid son bitch. Is she a lesbian? I don't think she's looking for a man. $200 date ain't worth it. But continue.
So you going on a $200 date with a man?
I mean,
two dudes.
How handsome is he?
Cute. Two dudes barbecuing. Love you.
If it's Idris Elba, I'm definitely going out on a date.
We should get married. It just.
So
tell me, when you said Deckard Shaw, he'd be like, "Mate, I have no idea what you're bloody talking about." I mean, you don't remember when you said the? I'm like, you don't remember when you said the greatest line in cinema history besides "He's a cop."
Right. You remember Hobbs and Shaw? I have no idea what Hobbs and Shaw is, mate.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Okay.
Right now. I want you to put word that we're open for business.
Business, right.
Whatever he says, yeah.
Oh, apparently he does hate when people quote that to him.
Oh, I think every actor hates when lines are quoted back to them. Except Sylvester Stallone, because when Michael Rappaport said he was quoting lines from Rocky, Sylvester Stallone would quote the line that came after right back to him. So I think some people either enjoy it or full on hate it.
Well, he's been on coke bench for about 50 years now, so that's different.
Yeah. I mean, if you see Al Pacino, what line are you saying at him?
You do what you're fucking told.
Oh, okay. Not I would either do what? Because she's got a great ass, and you got your head all the way up it.
Georgia Smith.
Tony Storm, any woman really out there, Megan Thee Stallion, just hey, it's Beyonce's birthday. Beyonce.
All right. Them ninjas gonna hit you where you at. Jay-Z gonna send the people, bro. I ain't did it.
Doing
on Twitter.
The gift of him doing is still funny to me. I don't know why.
At HU, I was about to start spelling it out.
Yeah, Knife Talk, which is phenomenal with 21 Savage, Project Pat. That's amazing. Then we have 7 a.m. on Bridal Path. In terms of like the timestamp higher rankings, I have that low. I'm not too. I just love 4 p.m. in Calabasas compared to like all the other timestamps. And then 5 a.m. in Toronto.
That's probably the best one because he went the fuck off. That's the one he started off. Oh, you gotta love it, or you gotta love it.
Yeah,
I heard it was something. Yeah, no, he went off on that. My least favorite is it 6 a.m. in Dallas?
9 a.m. in Dallas, 6 p.m. in New York.
Yeah, that's my least favorite. Because that was the nice Drake. Then when he started getting to 6
that's
p.m.
early.
in
Yeah,
New York, that's when he was talking this shit. I heard it was little homie talking about something.
Yeah, speaking of time,
you act your age and your girl age.
Yeah. But again, 4 p.m. in Calabasas to me has I'm gonna make you dance to this. Just the subs at like Joe Budden, Diddy. I'm gonna make you one dance to this after he dropped one. Like, come on. All you self-promoters are janky. We established like the Yankees. This whole fucking game thing was we roll and move it. We rolling militant, but y'all still tanking. No limit to where I can take it. Y'all know me as a.
No, keep talking your shit.
No, I'm just saying like that's a top 10 Drake song to me. Again, it's just a throwaway. He puts that on Care Package as a compilation of Lucy's, which one day I'll just do my where I rank the Drake projects, and Care Package will probably be in a spot where a lot of people will be surprised. But just I'm gonna make you one dance to this. That's what you call fucking punch. All right, then we got Race My Mind, which is like this version of Jaded. The Marvin's Rooms. It's that for this album, so I love it. Fountains, Get Along Better, good with Ty Dolla $ign. Again, You Only Live Twice, which I'm shocked you're not a fan of, but I do like that as well. Again, even though I think, like I've always said about every Lil Wayne verse on a Drake, every Lil Wayne feature on a Drake song, it's just like, yeah, this guy he goes the fuck off.
No, he goes the fuck off. Lie to me right now. I can tell you the words to Miss Me.
Oh no, Miss
that's fucking right.
Different. No. But I'm saying, but he's bad on like I don't like him on.
He snapped on BB King freestyle. Oh, that was his song.
That's his song. No, that's what I'm saying. When Drake features on his stuff, he's good. I'm saying when Lil Wayne has to be featured, I'm not a fan of it really. I don't know why. It to me just doesn't work. But
well, 10 years ago, you was what, 17? You should have went up for that freestyle, but you wasn't familiar probably with that Wayne at that point, the No Ceilings Wayne, because by that time he was Lyrical Miracle.
Well, and you always say again, because I don't listen to music really, which is a fair statement.
You need to,
but it's always the thing where I mean, like he's Hyper, he's good. Hell yeah, fucking right. But it's really either like
the words to it. So much for being
optimistic.
They said love in the air. So I hold my breath to my face.
Keep bitches in my circle. My nuts hang like eight.
You wave and
I will serve you. I flew jet. She flew commercial, but we still met later that night. I had a session. She came over. I was aggressive. She was sober. I gave her a pill. She started confessing and begging, asking me to hold her. I did, but that was last month. And now now she's texting, asking for closure. Damn, this shit gonna catch up to me. I keep tissue paper. We eat each other whenever we at the dinner table. Damn, all right.
Look, Colin Kaepernick said this nigga spitting when he heard that Wayne about I flew jet, she flew commercial.
Oh God. You said, wait a minute.
That's that point. There was some other time in Hollywood point.
No, it's the wait. Let me write this shit down real quick. Ain't no one trying to pay for your flights. I miss you too.
Yo.
I think the Kid Cudi song, nah. Fucking fans. Interesting song. I want to know how like legitimate that is.
Wait till you find out. Wait till you blow up. Because I know if I have any fans.
I don't. You and I are already having a duel in particular. We're gonna settle that if what's supposed to happen later this month. If I'm able to make, you and I are gonna like legit throw hands in person, but we'll save that for
No, you gonna make it because shit. Come hell or high water, by God, it's Banks.
And me throwing hands at Banks is just me going like Banks catching that shit and then throwing me like a fucking like
shit from Civil War. Spider-Man
it's
just caught that arm.
It's the winner's yeah, it's legit. Like, but the roles are reversed. I'm the small guy who's like, oh no, you fucked up.
How do you spell human?
And then we got finally the remorse, which is someone had a good thing where it's like the calm, the resistance, the ride. Kind of similar to Views, where at the end it's just very introspective. I like that one a lot. Like I said, overall, it's a 7.5 out of 10 for me. And I just wanted to kind of get in the overall territory of Drake as a whole. Like I say, like you had a take about CLB that before it became what it is now. Last year, you said when CLB drops, I'm going to tell you my take. Do you remember what it is, and would you like to share it at this time?
Yeah, I'll say it here. I've been wrong before. I'll probably be wrong the rest of my life. That's just how it works because I don't need to be right all the time. Initially, I said, depending on how this album comes out, we got to have that Drake and Jay-Z tape because
which Trey Young had yesterday.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. And then people got him up out of here. But it's based on this. And you got to understand.
And by people, you mean bitter New Yorkers.
No, like, because Trey got, like,
yeah.
Kanye.
No, it was 90%.
Jay-Z has a cult following. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But also, too, attacking him. But with people, I try to tell them. All right, shouts out to Piccolo. Me and him got to have that Nas conversation because people try to bash. He said on Where's Buffy as well. People always say Nas can't pick a beat. Nas can't do this. Nas has been consistently in the past couple of years put out better albums than Jay-Z. I hate 444. Only like one song from there, and that's Kill Jay-Z. I don't like any of his verses. 444. That's what I'm gonna call it. The 444. That's exactly what that shit was. It's the 444, the nasty Wendy's meal. That's that album right there. I don't want no fucking nuggets, little ass drink, a frosty, and that nasty ass burger. That's 444 for me. The 444 album. That's what that shit is to me.
You know when you pork the core, and you got 4.
All right, I see what we doing here.
Anyway, continue. You were saying so. You pick Nas in the Jay-Z feud. You're pro Nas, anti Jay-Z, which you and Cody Dre.
He's been consistent.
No, Cody Dre isn't Cody Dre opposite?
No, he's with me because
he's Team Nas. That's what I thought. I was like, yeah,
because he actually listens to music. Like he has some of the best taste in rap. That's why I only can have conversations with certain people about rap that actually are non-biased because he actually listens to rap. The West Side Gun shit, I can't really get with. I only like certain West Side Gun songs, but to each his own. Yeah, Conway and Benny is my guys, but I can't really do the whole thing. But it's just in the sense of that's what my take was going to be based on this album. But the whole Vengers want to come out, oh, Jay-Z this. Man, listen, that verse on Jail is fucking horrible. His guest verses have been horrible. The song with DJ Khaled and Nas, that shit is horrible. Mind you, Nas bars is kind of weak too. I don't care about cryptocurrency Scarface. But the thing is too, fuck it, I'll say it here. With Jay-Z, he's talking about I put the LLC here and we do brunch talk. That's or you know what I mean? It's the $100,000 or dinner with Jay-Z. Give me $5,000 Fuck having dinner with Jay-Z. I don't need to ever meet Jay-Z. I've seen him in person. Before. Beyonce, I'm respectful. I saw Beyonce in person. I understand. It's a shoot. Those photos. I'll just say that. Shouts out to the clothes.
You mean
I'll just say that.
Her with the Shawn Michaels chaps?
Listen.
If Beyonce doing if Beyonce's doing this.
Since we being difficult here, fuck, I might as well be all the way. I need her and Naomi in the verses.
Boy. I don't dance.
I'm gonna be dancing.
Yeah.
I see Beyonce versus Naomi in the match. I'm gonna be dancing like a one leg dance. Where was I going? Oh yeah.
Well, no, it's just, right. So you like
that's all.
You like Scorpion, and Jay-Z has a verse on that. What do you think about What do you think of that?
That verse is actually fire.
Okay.
That verse is actually good. I'm saying in the past years, for some,
yeah.
I think it's the whole thing with him when he gets on Drake songs. He wants to show why I'm better than you lyrically, because he spazzes when he gets on Drake songs. Like this verse that he has on here, which is very violent. I'm like, damn, who you upset at? I think I understand who he's upset at, but he just like going the fuck off about killing. I'm like, hold on, wait a minute.
But Stan, why are you so mad?
Yeah, I'm like, damn, bro. But I mean, you know, he does this when he gets on songs with Drake. But yeah, no.
Yeah, because at the end of the
y'all kill Triple H and let Zimmerman live. Streets is done. That shit.
Yeah. Oh no, I thought that was kind of like, were we really crying over XX Tenacion? Like, come on. I sure as hell
like
wasn't.
Jocelyn Flores. You didn't like that song?
I don't even know that song.
I only know that song and the other one. Moonlight.
Yeah, I know that. I only know that because Major Payne would play that shit.
That sounds about right. God damn it.
Tomorrow. Ugh.
Did she do his perks?
No, maybe I don't know.
I feel like a lot of women that listen to that song don't wash their ass. He makes music for people that don't wash their ass, bro. Yeah, don't air nobody out.
No, I was just like I was making sure when we were in there together. Like, all right, but but yeah, as a whole, like I said, as a whole, it's an interesting. I don't want people to think I hate it because I don't hate it. It's not like F9 to me, where I legit like do hate F9. I think at the time, I think as of right now, I'm not as much underwhelmed. I'm seeing it for like anticipation and like expectations are those are hell of a drugs in itself. Like, remember Watchmen? They had the drug nostalgia, like being so excited for something to happen, and then when you finally get it and it's not what you thought it was. That's like one of the ultimate mind fucks.
That sounds like my love life. Continue.
I say that kid. I mean, I'm not just saying like real shit, but like, damn, she looked at it like, damn, this shit's terrible. Like, but, yeah, I think it's a thing where maybe at the end of the year when we do our best of 2021, I'll probably have it on there just given. But I will probably say it'll be interesting to see like if I like the Scary Hours 2-pack more as even though it's just 3 songs, it's barely 1/4 of it, given that how like this is again 20 something songs, which I think Drake does just to like tide people over now. Again, given Scorpion was a double album essentially. And then Dark Lane demo tapes was I think 11 or 12. But it's that thing where like the whole thing where Prince, like you have a vault of stuff that will anyone ever hear this? And with Drake, it's like they'll say it's at the time it's all too much, but it just can't sit there forever. That's why he dropped like the Lucy's. That's why he would drop like the Scary Tracks. It's like, and it shows again. I think he also likes dominating the timeline. And I forgot what my final thought was. Say something until I can think about it. I had it for a second.
A lot of y'all that was on the timeline was certified loser boys.
Hey.
Like,
Shit,
I seen a lot of Batman behavior. I'm gonna say the rest, but I seen a lot of that behavior. I'm taking out the TY because I'm trying to be PG, but it was a lot of y'all. Fire for that. I seen a lot of y'all out here throwing brunch parties and champagne parties, and y'all scaring the hoes away, bruh. Because he definitely didn't have too many songs on there for the hoes anyway.
That's what I'm saying. He was like, fuck these hoes. That's what he was saying.
That's the problem. You can't do that. They actually come to your shows. All the Spanish girls, Drake.
That's where I think he was doing. That's what I mean. He was like, I'm going to do something different by being anti song for the girls. Like, because at the end of the day, I still got them. They're not just going to turn away. It's like, gotcha, bitch. Like, Oprah's pregnant. Like, that's him. Like, forever.
You can never keep him.
But I'll try to remember that. Maybe I'll close it out with what else I had to say about the album. But some trailers dropped this week. And let's go to the big one, which is Red Notice. We just wrapped up Fast Summer. One of the entries was Hobbs and Shaw, which starred Dwayne Johnson with a cameo appearance by Ryan Reynolds. And funny, again, features Giselle, aka Gal Gadot. And I already knew this movie was going to be a piece of shit when they announced it. And actually seeing the trailer, I'm like, oh yeah, it's a glorified Instagram post as a movie, essentially. Banks, are you there? What do you have to think about it? Are you trying to hide from Ryan Reynolds?
Man, I'm trying to put it on.
Oh, don't you put it down. I don't want to. Don't you dare. Because
I can't put the trailer down because we definitely going to get flagged.
Yeah. We watched the whole Batman trailer. And WB was like, nope. After all that promotion we did for Tenet.
And they still owe us a check. You want me to be honest with you?
Go ahead.
I could not, in my heart of heart, What'd
you say? Your connection's breaking up. Bank seems to be having technical difficulties. I'll explain my problem with the trailer. One, again, it's written and directed by Ross and Marshall Thurber, who directed Dodgeball.
Black Heart.
Oh, there you go.
At time.
We didn't hear a damn thing you just said because you were stuck in the Matrix. All right, I'll go back to what I was saying until we find Banks again. Who directed Dodgeball, We're the Millers, and then Central Intelligence was his first collaboration with Dwayne Johnson before they reteamed for Skyscraper. Ross and Marshall Thurber wrote Skyscraper solely for the purpose of making money overseas, China in particular. And that was amid it's a fucking terrible movie, but it's like it didn't make a shit ton of money as they thought it was. And that's really one of the ultimate things of like, does Dwayne Johnson have the box office pool that he once did? Or is it exaggerated like how I've been saying the whole time when we got to him in the Fast Summer journey was that, all right, now we have two Banks.
What the fuck? Hey, Dwayne got us.
Yeah. We'll just go canless because you're I don't like I said, you were stuck in the Matrix.
Oh, well, we good now. I don't see any lagging now. Yeah, that shit just threw me off. I did one thing and that shit threw me off. All
right. But like I was saying, like I was just setting the plate for Red Notice. it's the third entry with Rossa Marshall Thurber and Dwayne Johnson, and Ryan Reynolds is now Dwayne Johnson's sidekick after Hobbs and Shaw, their little cameo then. And they added Gal Gadot because she didn't have much interaction with Dwayne Johnson, and she's Wonder Woman, he's Deadpool, he's now Black Adam. He's like all these elements. He has like the Vin Diesel formula. If I had everyone that has any type of Twitter or Instagram or box office pool and put him in a movie, we're bound to make at least 500 million. He's on that bullshit. And Netflix paid a shit ton of money to buy the rights to this movie, and it looks like pure fucking garbage.
So before I went into the Matrix, I said, ain't no way, boy. Ain't no way, boy. I'm watching this trailer.
You didn't even watch it?
She don't speak. No, she don't speak English. She don't speak
Don't
English.
do that. Don't do that.
Then you got a Canadian feller there. I don't hear that shit, eh?
Who? Dwayne Johnson?
You know what? I wasn't even talking about him, but he is partially Canadian. So
Yeah. But
no, I didn't want to see the shit. It took, and now this movie goddamn 2 years ago.
yeah,
They just started filming. They were supposed to start filming like 2019 or early 2020, but then the pandemic happened. I'm good, bro.
Well, like I was saying, Rossa Marshall Thurber wrote Skyscraper, the script for Skyscraper after Central Intelligence. He was like, I'm gonna like it's essentially like the next Die Hard, but in China. Like that was his whole thing, and everyone was like, "Ooh, we want it, because like the Chinese box office, which we'll get to in a little bit with Vacation Friends, John Cena. In your take about that. So that movie, let me see how much it made real quick. But one, it's a horrible movie, Skyscraper. And again, Dwayne Johnson wanted to like, I'm gonna play an army vet who's somehow a hostage negotiator, but then I'm gonna be missing one leg, and
Like
still be able to do all
Spanish.
this. But somehow his wife is Nev Campbell from Scream. What kind of shit is? And who's casting Nev Campbell in 2018, I think, or whatever? Like,
He like retro milk, bruh. He was like, "Oh, I can
Legit.
get her to play my wife." That
it was like, I don't want to be overshadowed, unlike Vin Diesel just was in Fate of the Furious by Charlize Theron. So I'm gonna cast someone who hasn't worked in like 6 years. All right, Skyscraper was made for 125 to 129 million. Only made 300 million, 304. That's where I'm like, this man, Dwayne Johnson. I seen it, as Craig Robinson says in Pineapple Express. I seen it. You're going soft. You used to be ruthless, and now, yeah, as John Cena said, like, what do you have? What do you have? Take that away. What do you have?
bruh. Eventually, he gotta take his ass back to wrestling or do something, or he could just disappear. Like, bro, you made your money. You already a legend in both sports. Two sports. Pee Wee Kirkland, legend in both sports, or however the bar go from grinding. It's like, yo, you don't need to do this no more, bro. Like, I don't need to see. Like after Black Adam, I don't never need to see another Rock movie, bro. I really don't, because I don't like. What else you gonna do, bro? It's like when you already here and you can't challenge yourself. What else is there to do? Like, unless you're gonna be an actor. You got to do something. I'm bored.
And you're right with that. Like, I don't think it's challenging himself. I think it was the fatigue of what I saw right away after Central Intelligence was this guy's the same guy, and it's not the same character. He's Dwayne Johnson. He's got the fucking cargo pants. Again, he's playing someone who everyone's got to like. He's never going to be a bad guy, which he'd be a great fucking bad guy if he ever played one. Someone I think The Ringer had a piece one time where it was like, pitch Dwayne Johnson movies. That was probably after Fate of the Furious or something, but I think someone had an idea where like he should do what was the Jean-Claude Van Damme one where he had two versions of himself.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I was like, that ain't Time Cop, is it?
No.
Yeah.
let me see that. But like, there should be like Dwayne Johnson should play the bad guy version of Dwayne Johnson in the same movie where he's also the good guy. Like that's what he needs to do.
Okay, so then you got to put him in Gemini Man too, because I think they're trying to make that.
Gemini Man 2?
Yeah, actually, I'm about to watch that too. When we done,
I've never seen it.
I think I'm gonna watch it too.
But see, Baywatch, he had in 2017. That was made for 65 to 69 million, only made 177. Again,
I watched it.
You're making your money back, but the guy's not the box office draw you think he is my whole thing was at the time. And Red Notice. All right. Because up next he has Red Notice and Black Adam, and then the fucking DC League of Super Pets bullshit. Like, come on. I know, kids. All right, budget for Red Notice is 160 to 200 million, and again, it's a Netflix movie, so it ain't gonna make shit back. It's gonna be number one on like the top 10, which again, that's bullshit because Green Lantern's in the top 10, and that movie is terrible.
Is Red Notice international release for the theaters, like the China market? China.
They'll do theaters, because all their movies do theaters at least somewhat for a small run. But yeah, I think their goal is to distribute it internationally as well. It'll
make its money back overseas, but domestic wise, it won't make its money.
Again, this is all according to Wikipedia, but Johnson was confirmed to be paid at least $20 million for the first time for this film. It was later revealed that Gal Gadot also made $20 million for her role in the film. And Ryan Reynolds was like, I'll just take anything because I'm desperate for the attention. Please.
That part. And it's taking a minute to make Deadpool 3. So who's the distributor is actually who's the production company? Is it Netflix?
Oh no, it's production is Flynn Picture Company, which is the guy who made Bo Flynn, who made Rampage and San Andreas and Journey to the Center of the Earth 2 with Dwayne Johnson. $7 Productions, which is of course Dwayne Johnson's company, and the guy Ross and Marshall Thurber's production company. Again, Netflix is distributing it.
Okay.
So it's basically almost like a self-made film that Netflix is financing.
Right. And everybody else just put up a little bit of money to get their piece of the pie, being $7 production.
No. They just basically like, we're going to control the production. Netflix is like, but we want to have the rights to this film because if an actual studio produced this movie and made the budget for it, you wouldn't be making as much as you think. But again, Dwayne Johnson will be being paid $20 million to make this movie.
Wait,
he probably be.
So once again, maybe because my attention is short. Obviously, I'm paying attention to you right now, but that's HD works, kids. You just be in and out sometimes. So let me be clear. The producers is fully backed by the producers, and then Netflix is just distributing it, right?
No, I think Netflix films are like they pay. It's either they pay for shit that hasn't been made yet themselves, like they finance it, or
they buy a lot of ghost scripts too.
That's what I'm saying. Like this was a spec script that Ross and Marshall Thurber wrote.
There you go.
Netflix bought it, and then they're responsible for the budget. But those three production companies are overseeing it. Like Netflix, I don't think it doesn't have its own production company. They're the distributor, but like are still paying for everything. Because I don't think $7. I don't think all those three production companies have a budget to make $160 million.
Well, that's what I'm.
Because the studios finance the movies and distributed them. Yeah.
Right. And the producers put the money in to get the actors that they want and everybody else involved, the crew, etc. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I understand what you meant. I had to hear it again because me and you know how it works with this.
Yeah.
When you have your producers, you have your backer, which is your distributors, like Paramount. Then it's like, I'll go with Bad Robot for the production company. Mm-hmm. You got three. This is a money laundering shit, bro. I'm gonna go ahead. That's three producers. Three producers. One of them did 3 bad movies. Then you got $7 that got 2 clients, being Henry Cavill and Dwayne Johnson.
No, 3. No, remember I said they also got Emily Blunt for an upcoming project. I said that I think a week or two ago.
Yeah, you did say that. So she's
Yeah.
officially signed to him, or are they just backing the project that she's doing?
They're backing a project that she's making, I believe. She probably has she's probably like, I'm not an idiot. I have a CAA agent. You fucking dumbasses.
That's what I'm saying. So there was never a need for her to be. I'm like, yo, as long as she's been working, she never needs a production company to back her or anything. Because CAA will get one of the major ones to back it, depending on the project it is, and because she's an actress, she wants to act. It's like that's nothing.
Well,
so your movie,
crazy.
If it's not a period piece, it's going. My fault. Go ahead, because she does period pieces. That costs a lot.
But she became an action star. Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow. Then
Later on,
Mary Poppins. I'm saying that turned her into Emily Blunt we have now, which is both A Quiet Places, the Mary Poppins movie, Jungle Cruise, all of that. Which
we can't knock them
again.
Because
no, I'm not knocking her. I like Emily Blunt.
And the actors,
yeah.
The British actors, they do like the R&B singers. It's like, yo, I'll put out a project now and I'll wait a couple of years, or when I find something that really inspires me, I'll do it. Gary Oldman, like you said on Black Wrestling a week or so, he did the Harry Potter movies, he did the Dark Knight movies, just because it's like, let me get this paycheck, let me get back to my actor shit, because he did Tinker Tailor Soldier or whatever.
Yes, and I could go play Winston Churchill and win an Oscar. Again, like I said last week when we talked about Spider-Man, Benedict Cumberbatch is like, fuck, I gotta be Doctor Strange. But hey, it's keeping the lights on. And I'm having fun with it this time because I'm wearing the Sorcerer Supreme cloak over a fucking hoodie. Like, it's nonsense.
Right. But you do it, and then it's like after that, if I want to get in directing like Chris Evans about to start doing, then it's like,
he did. He directed a movie in 2014 though.
Snowpiercer?
No, a romantic comedy with him and Alice Eve. See,
but now he can do that the rest of his life because he's sick.
I think people won't give him money to go do that again.
No. He can fund his own shit.
Yeah. No, I know. Oh,
it's
yeah.
like Francis Ford Coppola now. Well, Francis Ford Coppola said, "I'm trying to put on him."
Yeah.
He needs $7.
I forgot that on the docket because Francis Ford Coppola, probably one of the all-time auteurs cinema history. The Godfather Part 1, and The Godfather Part 2, and then Part 3, but two of the greatest films in cinema history. He also did The Conversation, The Outsiders, but he was obviously the most famous in terms of his self-sabotage is Apocalypse Now, which was a project he wanted to make, and the story of that production is one of the all-times, like, we didn't know how this movie got made. Like, the movie you're watching now, like, if you knew how this got made, you wouldn't believe it. And there was his wife documented the whole time of them making it. It was like, it was just insanely hot. Martin Sheen almost died because of the conditions. And like, I think he got sick. Marlon Brando showed up out of shape and didn't read any of the lines and had to be force fed the lines when they started filming. Dennis Hopper. So you already know some shit was going on with him. And again, it's a big fucking war movie. It's like they got fucking bombs and helicopters and explosions. And Francis Ford Coppola went mad during like the course of the production. Like he's directing with his shirt off and just, he's like, the movie's not what it's supposed to be. And there's like 3 cuts of it. But he was notorious for just being piss poor with his money when it came to backing projects himself, self-financing. Because the studio after a while was like, Francis, we're not going to do this. He's like, fuck you, I'll do it myself. And then he went bankrupt.
Yeah. So, well, he didn't have a label, but essentially he Kanye West. He just got a label.
Well, he had American Zoetrope, but that went bankrupt. That was his production company.
Yeah, because it's stupid. I was like, fuck it, I'll take the money from this. That's not how it works. You got to put the money back. Then
no, that's what he was.
You got to re-up, bro. Yeah, just that's not how it works. Like it's like drug dealing. I got to re-up. The goal gets some more. He's just like, nah, let me take all this. Like, bro, you can't re-up then. That's what he's doing now. He's like, yo, I'm gonna take my own money and make this sci-fi movie that he's trying to come out.
Which, when you read it, I'm like,
get some backers.
But he hasn't made a movie in I think almost a decade.
And his friends are dead, so probably. Like all the old producers.
Oh yeah, that way. I thought you mean like no, his friend. Like he's funny enough. Like he's in like the ultimate entourage of it's him, Spielberg, George Lucas, Marty Scorsese, and Brian De Palma. Like all those guys were a clique. Fucking crazy. Like
so all the 5 guys. They probably watched their ass.
But I remember on the Ringers podcast, Rewatchables, when they do The Godfather Part 2, they had a story where like Francis Ford Coppola said, "I'll only do The Godfather Part 2 if you let me do this, 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 and this." And it was like, you gotta let me make this movie The Conversation. I want to direct an orchestra. I can't remember. I don't know if it was a joke or not, but someone was like free chicken for a year or something like that. But it was just, and then the guy was like, Chris Rock's like, you got to give me tickets to every Knicks game or something. Like it was just like his list of demands to make what will later on become like the greatest film of all time. The Godfather Part 2 was like, he had to be talked into doing that because he was like, and I also think they had to give him like some money too, because he's like, I'm going to piss this shit away as soon as this movie's done. So yeah. But yeah, production company and because the next topic, the trailer that, all right, I think I might have remembered this movie being announced, but then maybe that doesn't even make sense. But like I see this trailer on Twitter and it's happening and I'm like, I bet Roland Emmerich directed this shit. And I think it's like directed by Roland Emmerich and it's like Moonfall. And I'm like, of course it is. Because if there's one guy who Hollywood, again, continues to give money to, who will just be like, let's set this shit on fire, is Roland Emmerich.
Yo, every time he comes out with a movie, low key, my kufi be on and my tinfoil hat. Because I'm like, every single time every time the movie happens, some wild shit always happens, bruh.
All right, to be fair. All right,
the same week that happened, fucking flood happens, bruh.
Yeah. So he has Independence Day, which is what, 94 or 96, right? Welcome to 96.
I'm keeping count. Whoever see me on video, I'm keeping count on all these Armageddon movies he come up with.
Oh no, he's the auteur of the disaster movie. And there is one genre I hate is disaster movies, because like, how are you gonna fight back the elements? I remember like I think MVP was on Cheap Heat one time in 2014 or 15. It was like the trailer to San Andreas was out, and MVP's like, that movie looks so dumb. What's The Rock gonna do? He's gonna punch an earthquake? Like, come on, so stupid. It was just like, movie stinks, bunch of doves. That's what MVP basically said in terms of like San Andreas. Movie stinks, an earthquake. Ugh.
Bro, I hate it. Was a movie that came out a couple years ago. I think it was like 2017, 18, somewhere around that. 17. It was another disaster movie that was like back. I'll look it up and tell you later. But it was by like somebody that's
Geostorm.
No, there you go. See?
That's Roland Emmerich's young boy. That's his protege, Dean Devlin. He produced no, that's what I'm saying. So here's what let me go. No. I'm going just off.
They call me a madman.
So we have Roland Emmerich doing it Independence Day. Then he does Godzilla. All right. Which don't the little Godzillas like attack Madison Square Garden or something like that?
Yeah, but they shouldn't have just tore down the building. Don't eat the people, just tear down the building.
Yeah, and then he does The Patriot with Mel Gibson, which like that man's not a patriot. A few years later, when you hear what he says about everyone,
women,
then it's, I mean, yeah. Then you have The Day After Tomorrow, which was what really like got everyone aware, I think, of climate change. And I remember South Park, they did the episode where they parodied that, and they were like, "Remember the movie?" This is because we saw The Day After Tomorrow, and the movie of that villain was The Wind or whatever. It was like it was just like them laughing, like they look at the fucking movie they just made, like how they made fun of them, the movie The Core, where like they had to drill to like to the center of the earth to like stop, and like that's where they had the episode where they drill to stop the hippie convention going on, because like the only way to stop the hippies is if you just drill right through them. And then what's he got after Day After Tomorrow? There might be something in between, but then he does 2012, which is what gets everyone freaked out about the Mayan calendar and all that. Then he does Independence Day Resurgence, which is in 2016. Aliens don't come back to Earth in 2016. Donald Trump gets elected. So then he did Midway. I think that was him last year, which is just a war movie. It was British Pearl Harbor. So that's not a big deal. Maybe that's predicting Brexit happened before that. But yeah, he comes back after his mans did Geostorm, which that whole movie again was like, again, the weather's the villain, like dun dun dun. But so like it's like I think the big twist was like the president knew what was happening all along. No, not the president. Someone I never saw it. The trailer was like, again, disaster movies are so dumb. How are you gonna? You're just gonna outrun the wind, or outrun the water. Like
2012, they was in the limo. John Cusack
I know.
was in the limo trying to get away.
I've never seen it. I just know like the trailer. Yeah, I think that doesn't Woody Harrelson have a hot air balloon?
Watch that movie so you can say what the fuck 100 times. Because that's all I did in the movie.
Isn't Danny Glover the president with like an African accent? Or
no, that's just his big ass teeth. Mr. President, we have a situation. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going through the Armageddon. I'm like, damn, Pops, I hope the motherfuckers fall out. Rex! Rex!
I'm too old for this shit.
Shit, yeah.
But
he was a predator too as well.
So the whole him and Gary Busey, teeth off.
3-4. Bobby Brown and Gary Busey gonna have verses. Roar.
Oh god. But so like the whole point of like the movie is like, we're not in 1969 we went to the moon. In 2022 the moon comes to us. Like Halle Berry. I'm like, what the? I'm like, oh god, not Halle Berry. Not hallelujah.
Her fond ass always in horrible situations, especially with kids. Damn, she a bad parent. Motherfucking and
oh, you talking about Isaiah?
2 movies. Remember the WWE movie with the paramedics?
Oh yeah, Kidnapped, right? Or The Caller. She had 2 of them. The Call or Kidnapped.
Movies.
The WWE one is The Call. That's where she helps the girl in the trunk, which Netflix just remade with Jake Gyllenhaal and Antoine Fuqua. The same exact thing. Jake Gyllenhaal was like, 911, how can I help you? And the girl's like, I'm in a trunk. And Jake Gyllenhaal's just like, stay calm. And she's like, but you don't shower. How are you going to tell me to stay calm?
I'd rather be in the trunk than to smell your stinking ass.
This trunk don't smell too bad, actually. Like,
right, it's some old Hawaiian punch in this motherfucker.
But yeah, it's got Halle Berry, it's got Michael Pena, it's got fucking Patrick Wilson and his fucking hairline, which just pisses me off because it's like, I know you did some work to touch this shit up. I got it.
That helps my theory even more. You already know the tinfoil hat is on tight.
Who?
Michael Pena is a Scientologist.
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
No.
So he said, he read this script and like, this weirdo is spitting. That's the first thing he said when he read this script. Yeah, he's a Scientologist, bro. Why you think he played actor every goddamn like movie, bro? Like, bro, you speak English.
Don't do that. Don't you fucking.
No, he act like La Cuna in every movie. Like, bro, stop it, bro.
Okay, so let me go back to So Roland Emmerich started with in America, really, Universal Soldier, Stargate, Independence Day,
masterpieces,
Godzilla, The Patriot, The Day After Tomorrow. Oh, I forgot this one. 10,000 BC. I knew I forgot one in the late 2000s. That was it. The movie about the fucking cave people.
No, I saw that, unfortunately.
2012, Anonymous. Oh yeah, he made the movie about if Shakespeare was a fraud. I forgot. The man who's like planets falling from the skies is in like, Shakespeare wasn't real. Like Shakespeare had a ghostwriter. Was that movie?
I know. You know who his ghostwriter was?
Yeah, it was like the Duke of something.
No, it was Lil B.
Stop it. I'm not with your fucking shenanigans today. Stop it. After you said that,
already here. I'm sorry, white dad. Cut the bullshit things. Not fucking here for it, pal.
I forgot he had because it was the year where the 2 White House movies dropped. There was Olympus Has Fallen with Antoine Fuqua and Gerard Butler, and then he had White House Down with Channing Tatum and Jamie Foxx,
which is obviously the best one. That one needed 2 other sequels.
I thought that one was going to be good, and it was fucking bullshit. I've still never seen Olympus Has Fallen. White House Down is terrible. Channing Tatum.
I said, stop.
Yeah, oh no, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Jamie Foxx had the Frankenstein haircut.
I'm going to convince you, like Jim Norton and Patrice O'Neal. Movie stunk. White House.
Bunch of high top fades.
Jamie Foxx playing the president in Jordans.
Yeah, it's Jamie Foxx.
No, it was just so bad. It had Maggie Gyllenhaal, who was horrible. I mean, you need to get a Halle Berry or something.
I forgot she was even in that movie.
God, she should forget about her in every movie. I'll get to that one.
What was your bad joke about her?
Which one?
Wait, what you mean?
Oh,
didn't I
say
said
that
she
her
was a
brother?
dragon? You told me that yesterday.
Oh, no, I thought you meant when I said like. Never. I think I did say something one time about Maggie Gyllenhaal where I was like, "How is your brother a badder bitch than you?" I think I might have said that one time. Yeah, Stonewall, which is a movie I think about gay pride in the in the early late 1960s.
Boy, I think he is. Boosie see that movie, he gonna have a goddamn.
No, I think he is. A member of the LGBTQ, if I'm not mistaken.
I know. Shouts out to them, but Lil Boosie see that movie, he gonna lose his goddamn mind.
Yeah. Then Independence Day Resurgence. I've never seen it, and again, the whole big thing about that movie is that they killed Will Smith off because he wasn't coming back.
Yeah, it's hilarious. That's the first thing they go into after the
I know,
let down.
And then they recasted the daughter, even though the actress was like still acting. The daughter of the president, and then Midway, which, like I said, that was British Pearl Harbor for him, which came out 2019, and then Moonfall, written by Roland Emmerich. Shocker. It's also got Kelly Yu. Oh wow, shouts to her. Oh, I'm thinking of I think I'm Kelly Wu, not Kelly Wu. Yeah, but no, this movie. Oh god damn. And it's basically like him trying to do 2001: A Space Odyssey. That's basically what he's trying to do with this one. Which is like, you're not Kubrick, so shut the fuck up and get out. You make shit fall from the sky.
The fuck we gonna do?
Exactly. That's the thing about his movie pitches are stoner plots. What happens if an earthquake ripped up the entire state of California? Even though that's a different guy. Like I said, Bo Flynn directed that movie. Carlton Crew.
It's about to happen.
Yeah, that's every day.
My fault. It was an earthquake last night when I was recording, and I just said, So what you think about Donda? That's all I said after that.
But oh god, yeah. And I think so. Segue, finally into Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings. You haven't seen it yet, right?
Save me, never knew right. I'll be singing gospel every day now, bro. I'm in a 360 deal with life. Life is a 360 deal, ladies and gentlemen. I can't do shit. I want to watch a movie. I like to go outside. I like to consensually kiss a woman. I like flowers and shit. I want to watch Shang-Chi. Hog more. Like I can't do shit. All I do is record and work the job.
All right. Well, I'm gonna
know
review it because every
I'm gonna
time
watch
I
it
want to talk about a movie, we can't, and then you see it 2 days later, and I'm like, we could have talked about this, but like it happened with the Suicide Squad.
I didn't have no fucking time, man. I had to record last night.
No, you did. You were like, I'm watching
3 hours.
USA basketball, and I'm like, you know they're gonna win, and you're like, so, and I'm like,
and I passed out from that shit too.
I know. Yeah, you see that trip, you were like, you're an asshole, bitch. Shang-Chi.
Well, wait, but did you listen to the soundtrack? See, I be having you up on the music. Listen to the soundtrack. The soundtrack is beautiful. I posted the song on the IG story, the Shang-Chi soundtrack.
I ain't listening to this. No.
You don't want to hear Aquafina sound like Pop Smoke?
Okay, here I go. Aquafina. Not since Kirsten Dunst in the Spider-Man movies has there been dead weight on screen for a superhero movie. Maggie Gyllenhaal is like a runner-up, but like, bitch, you add nothing here. It's like the definition of X-Pac heat with her in this movie. Like, go away. Go. Like, he should have just left her in fucking San Francisco when he's like, I gotta go. And she's like, no, I'm coming with you. And I'm like, no, leave her ass because she ain't gonna add shit. And at the end, I'm gonna spoil. This is spoiler territory at a minute 55 in.
My fault, Davis, real quick. The director said, no, you can't sound like Tiffany Haddish in this. So
that's what I was about to say. All right. As someone who probably people would say cultural appropriates or is a culture vulture, I would never say like, oh, I don't talk this way because this or that, or I don't dress this way. No. Obviously, look where I'm from. Look who I talk to. Look what I watch or listen to. When people backtrack from it is when it's bullshit. The Post Malone's like, man, there's no real lyrics in rap music. Then why are you fucking singing over rap beats? Huh?
He broke my heart when he said that. Like
Billie Eilish. Like, oh, I mean, all rap music is about popping bottles and getting bitches. Then why are you fucking having trap beats, or like, why are you wearing all this shit?
Who said that?
Billie Eilish, I think, said that like before she won all the Grammys. And then you have Aquafina, who's
little
like,
girl. I don't know if real quick, little girl. I don't know if you ever gonna hear this. You only 20 years old. Like you, all you know is rap music. Ain't been no fucking pop music since goddamn that horrible Future Sex Love Sound album.
No, every music is pop music essentially, but then you have Aquafina, who like the whole thing was like, yeah, she's sounding like, and then like New York, yeah, but then she does like the interview, like, see, you can't make fun of Asian people and all that, but it was like, you sound completely different all of us. What happened then? Like, but then if you watch her Crazy Rich Asians, you ain't on that same type of energy, Aquafina. Like, no. So like I said, when her character is horrible, she wears a fucking fanny pack like she's Hulk Hogan in the fucking 90s. Like, this movie could have been legit so great. And it's really good. Again, it's a 3 3/4 star movie. Because the action scenes, Bill Pope, cinematographer for The Matrix, Scott Pilgrim versus the World, Baby Driver, frequent collaborator with Sam Raimi. They're spectacularally shot. I think they were choreographed by, I think his name was Brandon Allen, who was Jackie Chan's protege and just passed away recently. Phenomenal. The guy, Simu Lee, does like his best Jackie Chan impersonation. Because again, the whole point everyone's like, oh, that's very Jackie Chan-esque. And then the people were like, yeah, that was the point, which I always hate when that happens. What'd you say?
He always say like that meme, I don't want any trouble, and he just broke your goddamn liver.
Yeah, no, he does that numerous times. And again, like, that's the vibe I think Dustin Daniel Cretton was saying. Like, we wanted to make a Jackie Chan movie with Marvel characters. Like, it's not obvious, which I always hate when people either like I've said it before when we talked about The Mandalorian, where like Bryce Dallas Howard was like, see, going into directing my episode, I was watching Kurosawa and I was wondering, how would this translate to Star Wars? No, like, don't do the phony bullshit. Like, if I ever made a movie, I'm being like, oh yeah, I ripped this from this, and that. Like, that's the point. Because like I saw it there, and I'm like, I'm gonna do my version of it. Like, don't try to backtrack again. The Aquafina, like it's such like, oh, leave me alone. Like you're ruining this great movie. And at the end, like I said, spoiler alert, she is the one that saves the day. Like she's fucking Mario Chalmers in the 2008 title game against Memphis. This bitch hits the last shot to defeat the villain, and I'm like, and then they invite her to go meet the Avengers. I'm like, she doesn't have any powers.
Did she say, damn, nigga, like Randy Orton after she did that?
Her, as much as close as she can, she does. And thankfully, they don't make him kiss, because I would have felt so bad for him. I would have been like, you gotta kiss Aquafina. God, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
I still know what an Aquafina is. I just don't like the water.
But overall, this it shouldn't. Yeah, like I said, they could just wrote her character out, done more with the sister, because the actress who plays the sister and does like dope shit in the movie. And that story, there's more to that, which they're just probably setting up for a sequel. So I understand. It's a good origin story. Tony Leung, who's like a legendary Chinese actor, is great as Wenwu, who's supposed to be the Mandarin, but like he just owns that. That's the thing. Fucking Ben Kingsley shows up again, and I'm just like, why? And I know he was at the premiere, but I'm like, oh, is he just there to be like, hey, remember I was the Mandarin in the Iron Man movie, but I wasn't really. But you know, he shows up as the same character, and I'm just like,
I think I told you that. I know X talked about it too when they first announced it. They was like, bruh, we talked about it on the episode.
But I think I only thought it was probably gonna
with Shang-Chi.
I think I only thought it was gonna be like a small scene. Like he has a role, like he plays a part, and I'm just like,
and he has nothing to do with that universe of Shang-Chi. Like he's never been a part of it.
Yeah.
The Mandarin has always been like Iron Man and somebody else.
And then they job out the Death Dealer, who like over the course of like the 2-3 like scenes that he's in, where he's like, again, I know it's the second time I'll be using this, but he shows up like the fucking Shadowborg, just takes these fucking pendants, like how the Shadowborg took, like, I'll take your powers, like type of shit, and then gets jobbed out to the fucking Soul Eaters. I'm like, what kind of shit is this? But the action's really good. The climactic fight scene. We gotta stop with the Star Wars stuff, where you have 3 things going on at once. Like, if there was just him versus his dad for the final fight scene, that would have been amazing. But it's kind of what suffers from Black Panther a little bit too. Like, it should have just been kind of him, Killmonger, instead of like, we have to have Ross shoot down the other one, and then meanwhile we have the ground, like we have all the tribes fighting each other. It's just like, nah, the Star Wars thing always like kind of like pisses me off, where just focus on one aspect instead of 3 different viewpoints of a giant battle or all that. But it's a great opening, like 10 minutes. All the stuff about him growing up, the origin story, and his like it's just like the stuff with Aquafina, and then with Ben Kingsley, Sir Ben Kingsley. My apologies, because again, I'm an actor, but I need this paper. You don't understand. I need some pounds, some coin, so I can put my wallet in it. But yeah, I mean, I would still recommend it. It's really good. But like I'm saying, I'm just disappointed because it could have been so great. It's still better than Black Widow, but again, that's not saying much. Shit.
This is a temperature check with this movie. If it doesn't make a significant amount of money, they probably push back the Eternals, which I know people don't mind. Listen, all this is just to get us to Spider-Man. That's all it is. I'm definitely gonna watch. More than likely, I'll watch the Eternals in some form or fashion. Maybe I just get the key points, because even though I'm familiar with them, I'm not interested in this movie. All of this leads to the road to WrestleMania, Spider-Man No Way Home. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
Please get y'all a vaccine, because if I can't see this shit, I'm gonna be hot.
Yeah, and this again is lead to like they're adding more Avengers. Like Shang-Chi will now be an Avenger, which is dope. Like he'll be badass and had something to offer. And then again, that sets up a good sequel. But I'm like, man, they really about to put Aquafina in this shit again, which is like, I hate Gwyneth Paltrow, like, as a person. She's fucking insane. Like, she is literally crazy.
She called her
she
kid Apple, and then
Yeah.
she be selling pussy candles.
and rapping to N-words in Paris, apparently. Like, and was married to Chris Martin from Coldplay. 3 strikes, you're out.
That's a boring ass relationship. This crazy bitch, and then him just
could've been
one good album.
We could have been something special. We could have had some
crazy.
But you one crazy bitch.
Just like me.
See, that's the thing. Unfortunately, I forget how do you pronounce her name, but Michelle Yao is in this from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. They didn't get my guy. Like Hollywood, maybe you just can't do the movements anymore. Chow Yun Fat, where are you at? Come on, you got to make a comeback. But again, maybe he's like the Undertaker. Like, I'm too old. My knees. Like,
I'm not some retired old veteran like the Undertaker. What John Cena said in that promo.
Oh God. With a bad hip. He got cooked. And that's when the Undertaker's like, no, I'm gonna come back and beat him in 4 minutes.
You going job, boy.
WrestleMania 34 in 4 minutes. But
so Undertaker's the real foe for foe.
Legit, yeah.
Yeah. Just like that album.
But yeah, I still liked it. I'm gonna say it's just 3 3/4 star out of 5, just because the Aquafina and Ben Kingsley stuff. Other than that, everything was amazing. It's
Okay.
I hate to see. Oh yeah, I still recommend it. Strong again. I mean, especially if you love the MCU. I mean, like it's to me, it's probably outside the top 15, but like at 16 or 17, if I had to make the list for what would be my top 15, because I have my top 10. I don't think that's really changed, but just for the action alone and the great part of the story they're telling, it's phenomenal. But then you have the boring stuff. We're just like, because you and I didn't talk about Black Widow because you went on Blackberry and talked about it. And like I said, I'm glad we didn't at that time, because I would have been like, this whole movie, throw it away. Like, just you didn't need to like release this movie at all. And again, that movie had something dope with the Taskmaster and like pissed that away. Like, come on. And it faked you out in the trailer, like, oh, those action sequences are going to look good. They were like 2 seconds and then done. I'm like, so this whole movie was just supposed to be this? Like, that was your great idea? Russian jokes about not being able to fuck because you were in prison, and that, child, what am I saying? Human trafficking that exists. Like, yeah, we know. Like, it's like we don't need Drake rapping about climate change. We don't need Marvel being like, human trafficking, it's real. It's like, yeah, we know.
Definitely know that, because across the country, a lot of young Black women are just being taken, and everybody like, let's move on. And y'all want to argue about goddamn Donda and CLB topics. All right, bet.
All right. See, no one's trying to listen to the show to hear that shit, Banks. They want to hear us say.
I know, but the tinfoil hat on.
Oh, I
sleep with the tinfoil hat on sometimes. Yeah.
Oh, that's just because you're bald. Yeah.
That. Yeah, I'm also in the universe, Jonathan Majors, bro. I'm the different King the Conqueror, the one with the helmet on.
That's the thing. The Easter eggs, I don't think I could really tell, maybe aside from the end credits scene, which I really don't want to spoil, but everyone probably looked it up, where they just address like where these rings come from. No one really knows. But yeah, we have Eternals next up. I think it maybe ties it more to.
Shut up.
What'd you say?
You get those type of rings from a shop.
See, and this movie really doesn't even explain like what the rings do too. That's something I was pissed about. Was like, cut the banter with Aquafina. Let's get some like what each ring does, or like you need all of them to do this, because he can like in the climatic fight scene, he takes 5 away, and like wouldn't you be like, shit, now they're useless. You need to have both sets. Man, I know the whole thing. I think when we talked about when we were previewing it with Black Variant, we're like, I think both of them were like, it's kind of dumb that they're forearm rings instead of like rings on the hand. But I'm like, yeah, because you really couldn't punch with like rings on the hand and have it make sense for a martial arts movie. You're not like William Regal with the brass knucks. Who does the Mandarin?
No, Shang-Chi.
He punches with like the rings on.
If I recall, I haven't read it.
And he doesn't have like Bill, and it doesn't have like Bill Russell fingers at the end. Like those shits ain't mangled and like.
Nah, I haven't read the comic in years. But if you go to comic book history about the character, yeah, I think it's on his ring. Like I said, it's been years since I read. I've actually read an issue or two, but it's been 20 plus years.
Well, like the whole point of like the Mandarin with like the rings from is like he's basically a sorcerer with them, right? They all like have different powers.
And that's why I understand. That's why Tony Stark's trick people, because he's not supposed to use technology against magic, but he does in the comics.
Well, again, that wasn't even the real Mandarin. Then they addressed that, thankfully, in the movie Big, and that leads to Ben Kingsley showing up, and I'm just like, oh fuck. Like, again, it was. See, this year has just been an interesting year. Where like Fast 9. CLB, it sounds like I'm meh. I'm lukewarm on it. Black Widow was terrible. The Snyder Cut, I knew I was only going to like some of it, which again, that made sense. It was going to be 4 hours, so like you could only like so much of it. And I'm not a crazy person like X saying like it's great, it's the greatest movie ever made. I'm like, nope. You ain't gotta lie, but nope. I don't know if COVID's made me like a bitter man. Maybe I always was a bitter man anyway, but that's how it goes.
What it is right now, I think life entertainment is in a state of let's just see what happens. So these movies came out at perfect time because from Spider-Man on, 2022 is about to be insane when it comes to movies. So right now, everything is kind of in cruise control, which is fine. Because it's like, it's just like we watch wrestling. I can't consistently get good. You got to make me wait for something great. So if I got to go through bad to get to great, it's just like life. Let me go through it. So 2022, starting in March, we got The Batman and we got Doctor Strange in the Multiverse. That's all I really care about next year. I'm good with just that. So if we got to go through this to get to that, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. But I mean, it was the thing, like, I wasn't hyped for WandaVision, and that turned out to be phenomenal, and I loved that. And I was hyped for Falcon Winter Soldier, and that turned out to be mid, and I was like, ah. And Loki, again, I wasn't like, oh, I don't think the Loki, like, But again, that was phenomenal. I loved it. I'm just saying for my own taste, I mean, it's just been an interesting year where, like, that's what I was saying earlier about, like, anticipation and expectation either exceeding or failing to deliver, and then something that you're not looking forward to or, like, meh on surprising you. Like, the biggest thing coming up next I'm looking forward to, I mean, the James Bond film, that'll just be a James Bond film. It'll either be good or bad. But Dune, the Dune reviews came out this week, and they say it's phenomenal. And again, that's supposed to be 2 parts. And when we talked about that trailer that came out recently, I was like, I don't know how this movie looks like it's 1 part when the trailer made it seem like you already have to cut so much out of this movie for the next one. But we'll have to wait and see. And like I was saying to Cal and Fam, like, I don't think I'm going to go to the theater to see that, because if I'm able to watch it at home on HBO Max, I don't want to be around those fucking other people, especially not with just the COVID shit, but like, as much as I love seeing movies like that on the big screen, because the way they're shot and made, the ease of watching at home is so much easier. And you're not having to pay extra like what you're having to do with Black Widow.
And also, did they say the length of that time? Of the movie time already? I swear they already said it was 2.5 hours or more. Yeah. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. That means they cut a lot off. So they might come up with like the director's cut. Then when
they already said that. Yeah. And then when part 2 comes out. Yeah. Which again, my whole thing is part 2 is not coming out if this movie doesn't make money. This movie has to at least make money. Because I was saying about this, I was like, no, but they already said it's part 1, and the credits even say part 1. But I'm like, WB has scrapped a whole universe or two after a movie didn't make money.
Right.
And I know Danny Villeneuve went in the attention like, no, they're gonna let me make two, but WB's like, we were on board if the first one made money. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, so
but
I'll be at the crib watching it. I have a 4K TV. I'm not going to the movies until December. I'm telling people that right now.
At this point, I'm like, fuck, I just might have to buy a better TV because fuck going to the theater now. You're muted.
My fault. These movies are in 4K. Basketball about to be in 4K and football. I might as well just go ahead and get a 4K TV and call it.
Yeah. No, I said this. I think that week I was going to be on the first Black Wrestling. I bought the Mac instead of a new TV, and I made the right choice because I ended up doing podcasting a lot more than I thought I would. But I'm still looking at my TV and I'm like, shit, I still need a new TV.
Hey, it'll get handled because I'm with you because I'm TV shopping right now. Priorities.
Well, it's just the thing where like
you invested. Yeah.
Well, I still, but it's like, all right, so the Kings, because again, the trailers that came out before the movie were the same trailers up and released. And like, I see the King's Man, and I'm like, shit, I got to go to the theater to see the King's Man. Like, damn. That's the thing. At the end of the day, you still have to go to theaters for movies that you really want to see. Like, again, we're going to have to go to see Spider-Man No Way Home. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Whether they postpone it or they stick to that December release date, we have to go to the theaters to see that movie. They're not going to put that on demand. And I know Sony like has a deal with Netflix going forward in 2022, I believe, but they're not putting that on there for Netflix. Because
Disney, like, yo, it's crazy to say Disney had to take a hit. They really haven't. They greedy. But like, nah, bro. We need at least a bill off this movie. It's going to be in theaters because COVID or not, this shit going to make about a bill, if not more.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, especially if they don't do anything else with like, people are going to legit have to go to the theater. If they stop now, like, nope, that's all you got to see. So to have people wonder, are Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield going to be in this movie? Like, they'll have to go and see.
Exactly. Even though we know they are in it. Also,
unless they do a Kanye West thing, like, nope, we took them out and put this instead.
I'll leave the theaters. I ain't trying to see this simp Spider-Man. It's Stark. I ain't trying to see that shit. Unless they in it, I ain't going to see it. Damn, I forgot the point.
How dare you? Oh, how dare you?
He is a simp. How you ain't simping for MJ, but you simping for Mr. Stark, a war criminal?
This is
Carnage is back in theaters now. Yeah, Carnage is back in theaters. Venom. I gotta see that in the theaters because Cam Rip, that shit gonna be dark as hell. That Cam Rip gonna be horrible. That is Kingsman.
Yeah, you'd have to pay me to see that movie. I ain't seen that shit. Mm-mm.
Yeah, because I know those on Cam Rip. That shit gonna be too dark.
But thanks on that note. Is there anything else you want to discuss? I can't think of anything. Pretty much covered what we talked about.
No, I really don't have anything else to discuss that happened this past week. I'll just get my plug in at the VVD pod, at the DVD pod.
Yeah,
on Twitter.
People can see us feuding for a subject they have no idea about. That's because this man Banks turns face or heel more than the Big Show Paul White. But we'll have to settle that one day.
I ain't said nothing in a couple of weeks.
No. You said it last week. I got receipts. You mean like, man, fuck that shit, and then, damn.
No, I'm always gonna look. That's the thing with me and how I work. I ain't gonna give the attention where it doesn't need to be, but I'm sure gonna look. I'm sure gonna bookmark.
Certified lover Banks. Okay.
Certified beat down Banks. I'd say so.
But next week will be Banks' choice. We have 2 topics. Banks will choose one of them. The one that he doesn't choose will be the week after, and then it'll be 1-year anniversary, September 25th. It was when that first episode dropped of Banks and I talking about the WWE Told with John Cena and Edge, the summer of 2006, not 2016. Jeez.
Long time.
Edge was still like my neck at 2016.
He like the Exorcist, bro.
And John Cena was feuding with AJ Styles. What a time.
Classic. I miss those days.
I miss those days. But
No.
you can find Banks on Twitter at BanksNoRest2, Instagram BanksNoRest2. You can follow me on Twitter at Davis aka Drip, Instagram daviscoltondc. Follow the pod on Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Again, it's the Banks versus Davis. You know what it is, and you know that we're always here for it. Interact with us. I went on Spaces on Wednesday night. Some plans had fallen through. One that chatted with, I believe, at Sean Tragedy. Shouts to him. We had a good AEW conversation, funny enough. We were kind of talking about AEW as it was happening and about All Out. But shouts to him, listener of the show. Appreciate that. And again, tune in to when we'll be on Spaces at the DONDA. Just random conversations, fan interaction, all that.
Absolutely. We appreciate all y'all for listening. Subscribe on YouTube, like, tell a friend. Peace.
And stream.